Sup nerds, welcome to the Omni4Game podcast, episode 79. I'm Sean, and I'm joined with Chris and Brandon as always.
Sup guys, this week's Omni4Game recap. We go over our locals as always, second locals as always. We look over the Digi-con reveals, and then we go over weekly reveals, and then a whole lot of comment questions. If you like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next week.
Alright, locals recap. Who gets to go first for Trinity?
Me, I didn't go, because I'm sick,
right.
and I'm still kind of getting over it.
It's that pollen.
Yeah, it's got to be that government-issued pollen.
Not unlike government cheese.
Just like the government birds.
Oh, okay.
Don't joke about that. Don't joke about birds like that. They're listening.
Birds.
Did you say
So
don't
I just
joke about that,
rotted.
Sean?
No, don't joke about the birds.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was like,
don't joke about
Brandon
the
said
birds.
that. Also, I would joke about whatever I want to joke about.
They're
Yeah.
listening.
I will
They're
not
right
be
outside
policed
the
by you.
windows listening.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah, Brandon was sick Tuesday, so he didn't come, so I'll go first. I played Jessmon. Round 1 I played against Chronicle. We ended up tying 1-1-1, even though after some discussion and looking back in hindsight, I could have actually won the match. I forgot, because this is only my second time playing against the deck. He had Oryukin on the field, and I had a Jessmon and 2 Sistermons with the exact same level out, and all 3 could have attacked. He had 1 redirect and 1 security. So everyone was standing around the table and was like, oh, just swing at him. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, smart. So
I forgot about this until you just
yeah, so I swing, and Spencer's like going to pick up his cards. He's like, yeah, you got it. And then David reminded him it's mandatory that the Oryukin has to destroy a Digimon when a security is trashed. We had all forgotten about that.
Besides David.
Which
I'm pretty sure it's his deck that he was using.
Yes. And no, it's Spencer's. Spencer's like max rarity'd out that deck, I think.
I thought that was David's deck.
Oh, maybe it is. I always thought it was Spencer's.
I'm pretty sure that's David's deck, but...
Oh, okay. Well, so I could have and what happened is he pops one of the Sistermons, so now I no longer can kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was I had 3 memory and a level 3 in my hand, or just like, 3 cost Digimon I could have just played because its effect is delete the lowest level. So I could have easily just played a body and then just swung through him and actually won. There was also, I think a turn prior, Sean pointed out, I could have...
It was the same turn.
It was the same turn, so I could have made a different play altogether. And I think what I would have actually still won.
Yes.
Just my inexperience with the deck and not knowing everything the Chronicle did. Even Spencer forgot at one point, so learn. You learn. So I hopefully won't make the same mistakes again. I probably will, but hopefully won't. So then round 2, I played the best match of my entire life. I had so much fun in the mirror match where we played the entire match and we finished 1 game.
Oh.
Where I probably got 10 minutes of playtime in that entire match. Most of that was my opponent just doing stuff. Doing nothing, really.
Yeah, not doing stuff is what you mean.
Yeah. So I literally thought putting my phone down with the timer would help him. But by the time he realized I had 1 game won, because in that mirror match, it's kind of like whoever Gonku's second is going to win. Because going Gonku first, while your opponent doesn't really have anything established, isn't really all the best. So then I Gonku. So now I have the protection during his turn. He no longer has the protection. He Gonkus, I Gonku back. So I'm always going to have the protection longer than him. Not longer, but you know what I mean. Like, for the following turn.
It's like Ice
like
Wall.
Ice Walling first back in BT6.
You want Ice Wall or Ice Wall?
Your Ice Wall second.
Yeah, so he never can really respond to my board. So by the time he realized I won, he goes, okay, let's go to game 2. And I said, there is 7 seconds left. So, I won that one 1-0. I was pulling my hair out.
Oh man, you looked so miserable when I got it from my match and was walking around.
Ben saw me. Like, I made eye contact with Ben, and I was like, "Oh." And he was laughing because Ben also played this same player round 1, and they ended up tying 1-1-1 because their first game took 40 minutes.
Yes.
So.
And Ben managed to kill him very quickly game 2 to force it
he's playing turns. We're getting there. He's playing bunnies. So round 3, I played against Ben, who's playing bunnies because he really likes that deck, and I don't blame him. That deck seems like a lot of fun. I just wish the top end outside of Shrubimon Ace was a little bit better. That's why I was like, if I was gonna play that deck, I'd play something like Dinomon and probably Medieval at the top with the Cherubi Ace.
He is playing
just because Dinomon. Yeah, I know, but he's not playing the Dino. I would just play Dino because it's like that added pressure and fortitude and its removal. So
yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I've seen. I've seen some players who play that Alliance deck, like playing Dinomon up there. I was like, actually, that's really smart.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing a list, and I've since changed that list, and I think I like the changes a little bit more than what I was playing on Tuesday. So I wasn't playing any of the BT20 Jesmon. I wasn't playing any of the BT20 Jesmon X Antibody. I was playing Starter Deck Jesmon and OG Jesmon X Antibody, which are good cards, but it's not as much removal as the new cards are. Because with the new cards, I can attack his unsuspended Digimon, and I can start popping his bodies, because he swarms the board really quick. So I didn't have as many consistent ways to actually outing his stuff. Like, I could Gonku X him and de-digivolve his stack, but if he's just got the cards in his hands again, he's just going to keep rebuilding. I'm not actually removing the cards.
Yeah.
So he was able to, like, there was one turn where I absolutely popped off and did the whole Jesmon GX combo with, like, my Sistermons and my effects and stuff like that, where I cleared all 5 of his security. But because I literally didn't answer any of the bodies he had on his board, he just killed me the following turn. He was never really worried, you know. Like, I could clear all his security, I just couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
So since then, I've made a couple changes to my list, added a couple BT20 Jesmons and a couple of the BT20 Jesmon X antibodies. So I've changed some of it, so now I have a little bit more removal. Eventually, I'll remember that the level 5 is 5k and the Jesmon is 8k. I did that a couple times against Sean. He's like, that's 5k, and I'm like, shit.
I have a 6k digital in the field, and he's like, delete it, and I'm like, how?
That's wrong one. Yeah, I kept doing it all night. Or not all night, just against Sean. For some reason, I don't know why.
I tried to do it 2 times.
Yeah, twice. So yeah, I don't know what place I got at Trinity, but I had fun with the deck. I've made some changes since, and I think it performed better at Fridays. So go ahead, Sean.
So I took Royal Knights, which was this week's members only vote for what I played at locals. I played Diaboromon round 1 versus Todd. If they open up really well, and I don't see one of my medievals early, that's pretty rough. He actually managed to set up like 3 erratas and then poked me, I think, 1 time, and then promoted a stack and just spit out like 4 tokens with rush and jamming and just killed me. So he won game 1.
Good.
Yeah. And then games 2 and 3, anytime he promoted a stack, I killed it, and he was never able to kill me. And I won the games 2 and 3. Round 2, played against a Bulkmon. Robbie was playing. Deck sucks. It's cope. He like lonkied me for like max value one time game one, and I still didn't care. Even though one of them was an ace, it still didn't matter, if that tells you how the match was going.
Or Robbie.
Yeah, he activated a 3-cost lonky for max value, and I was just still like, okay, what are you're still losing this.
Have you considered you are still dead?
Yeah, premium DP reduction is so ignorant versus that deck, because he can give his big stack like can't be DP reduced or de-evoed, and I'm just like, okay, or you can mode minus 15k until the end of your turn, and then at the beginning of his turn it dies.
Yep.
And he can't protect it, even if it has like that trash effect because it's DP reduction. Like you can protect it technically, but it'll still die. So I won that 2-0. Round 3 played against Josh playing Magnamon Armor. He's got some really interesting tech choices in there that I think actually probably improve that deck. Unfortunately for him, he fell victim to Magnamon Armor game 1. He went first. I'm pretty sure he won that die roll. Opened a rookie and even a Magnamon and raising. And I was like, that's kind of unfortunate. He's opened up like quickly. He promoted it, swung at my security, and then he may have just hard passed.
Oh.
He didn't have a Magnex, and I was like, okay, cool. Which I have answers to Magnex, like I have Oryuken mode, so like I can cleanly out them. But like if he can scramble it back repeatedly, it's just annoying to deal with. I outed that Magnamon. He never saw another rookie the rest of the game, and I established a Medieval Gallantmon before he started just hard playing stuff. And after I established a Medieval Gallantmon, he can't play the game because he just hard plays something and I just kill it and it's my turn.
You're telling me the deck that plays like what? How many one-ofs it can break?
I don't think his list is as weird as most of the ones we see, but it still is that deck that has like consistency issues. If you don't open up the cards to play the game, you're gonna have consistency issues.
Right.
So I won game 1 very easily. Like he basically didn't get to play the game. And then game 2 was actually a lot more back and forth because he was able to play the game. And I kept having to Oryuken mode his Magnamons, and he would just scramble them back, Evo back into it. So it was a lot of just back and forth, like outing his Magnamon X's like over and over and over. I did end up winning, however, that was actually a game, and it was pretty grindy. We played a third game because he wanted to see what would have been like if he could play game 1. It was the same thing, like lots of back and forth. I won game 3 as well, but it wasn't easy peasy like game 1. So I ended up coming in first at Trinity with Royal Knights.
Nice.
So TBS
on to Friday?
Question mark.
Yeah, on to Friday.
Who's going first?
Me.
All know.
Oh, okay. Well, you're taking your sweet time, dude.
I had to pull up my notes.
Oh, okay, my bad.
He's taking.
I thought you were like trying to get Chris to start talking, and I was like, "Who is it?"
No.
Definitely not me, Sean. You know where I placed.
Oh yeah,
I was right behind you.
You were.
Yeah.
I wanted Josh to win, but I needed you to win. And that energy put a chip on your shoulder. You say, "Okay, all right, I'll show you."
Bet.
There's no chip.
Well, what you really did was you were kicking Josh underneath the table so he'd throw.
So he'd misplay.
Hey, quit it.
It is for the content. Stop it.
So anyway, round 1, I played against Imperial. I got that 2-0. The person who was playing the deck was very inexperienced, and I feel like if they had more experience, they probably would have 2-0'd me. Let's be real. Because there were several times where I was like, are you ever going to activate the Kenan Davis?
It just wasn't activating it.
It just sat on the board. Like, he would DNA and not gain the memory.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like not playing a rookie.
He would not play a rookie. It just sat on the board. It did nothing. Like, I think once he stripped my sources and got the memory, like once out of the entire game. He DNA'd a lot.
I wonder if he doesn't realize you don't have to have sources for him to activate it.
I don't know.
I'm curious because I feel like it probably was. He's like Yu-Gi-Oh brained.
Yeah,
where
you think you have to do A in order to get B.
Yeah.
Another thing is this is going to be on the Chet counter. I asked. I was like, "Oh, is that the Stingmon that gains a memory when you DNA?" He goes, "Oh no, it's not that one." And then he DNAs, goes into the his stack and all this stuff. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I just trusted what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Later, when I kill it, he partitions it out. I look at it, I was like, "That is 1,000% the one that gains a memory when you DNA." That is 1,000% the one. Like, I even asked. I was like, "Oh, is that the one that has the effect when it would DNA?" He's like, "No, it's not that one."
Nah.
So I was like, "Sure, that's going to be on the Chet counter, I guess."
What a gift.
I mean, it is what it is. Oh, I'm playing post-ban list Ancient Omni, by the way. Deck profile coming soon, if not already up. I don't know when Sean's going to post it.
It'll go up for people watching this. It'll go up yesterday.
Okay.
I'm gonna post it after we get done with this.
Yeah, plus some gameplay. Round 2, I played against Sean, so you're guaranteed to see some gameplay.
I am gonna have to post at least one match, unfortunately.
Sean, I ended up losing to 1-2. He was playing Royal Knights again. Game 1, he gave me 4 memory by setting up Cool Boy immediately. And I was like, alright, cool. Gabumon, Matt, Analog. And he was like, alright, cool. I'm going to stick a dude on the board, and he's not going to be able to deal with it, right? I then promoted, evoed into Kendo, swung, drew 3 cards.
That's dirty.
After drawing 2 cards
Hey,
by
for the Matt
promoting.
and the Gabu.
Bruh, I'm telling you, when he did that to me, Sean, with the Kendo, and he's like, alright, draw. I was like, wait, whoa. Whoa, what do you mean, draw 3 cards?
Yeah, he drew a billion cards versus me game 1.
Yeah, then I went into the Ancient, and then I went into the Lobo, then the Ancient, and then bounced his dude, checked his security, bing bang, Bob's your uncle.
Something like that.
So I had tempo game 1, was able to keep it, so I was able to keep him at bay, and I ended up eventually winning. He did have to give me 7 memory on his final turn to establish a Magna, hoping I would try to out a body on his board so he could Cool Boy clap me. But instead, since I had 7 memory exactly, I hard played Gabumon, Warp Evo'd into Metal Garu, stunned everything so he couldn't block, and then just swung for game with the other body I had on the board. So I did have to make sure to avoid his trap cards. Game 2 and 3, I think both games I was just missing any copy of Lobomon in the early game. Like,
you didn't open the
basically,
nuts on me, that's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, being able to draw 5 cards your second turn is pretty good. Not being able to do that, pretty bad.
I was also a little more careful about, if I could help it, I would put something small on the field next to my Royal Knight so I could ace you if you ever tried to do something.
Yeah. And then, Sean just slow rolled me on his final turn instead of just turning his card sideways.
Did I?
You did. You were sitting there what do I do? I've got 2 security. You've got a medieval.
Oh, it's because I wanted to kill your Omnimon. And I forgot that the Omnimon is already suspended. I was trying, because I had a medieval in the field, and I was like, I need to kill it to maintain turn when I play Omni out, otherwise I pass turn. And I forgot, I was doing math, and I forgot that your Omnimon was already suspended, so I didn't need a third body.
Math
or a
is
third
hard.
body on my field. It
Math
is,
do
dude.
be hard.
It's super hard. Also, right before that, the turn before that, I had Sistermon Blanc and the whatever the hell token both have decoy. And I had Oryukin and Medieval on the field, and he just hard plays Omnimon. And he's like, delete Oryukin. And I was like,
that happened to me.
Put it in the trash, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. And he's like, what? And I'm like, both of these guys have decoy.
Yep.
And then I
happened to me
laughed at
against Will later.
Yeah. And then I laughed. I mean, it didn't matter.
It didn't, but I wouldn't have had to sit there for 3 minutes trying to figure out if I could kill you or not if I had just protected the Oryuken.
I mean, I basically had already conceded at that point. When you're hard playing the Omnimon, it's not good.
Yeah.
Round 3, I played against Dante playing the Excel deck, and I won that one 2-0. So game 1, we both kind of just sat there, just digging through our decks, looking for pieces. He was looking for, I want to say, a level 6 that wasn't Varuduru. I was looking for any copy of Lobomon. And if you heard what I had just talked about earlier, I draw a lot of cards. I got down to like the bottom 10 of my deck. It was like maybe bottom 8, something. I was real thin. And real thin on the deck. I did not have that many cards left. And I finally saw one copy of Lobo. And then I was finally able to actually like do one of my combos and just win. But yeah, like 2 of my Lobos were in security, which never got checked. And the other 3, the promo and the other 2 BT-17, were just holding hands at the bottom of the deck. So I basically kind of just had to sit there and wait for it, essentially. And Dante wasn't doing anything either. That game 1 was super scuff. Game 2, I basically, for the first 3 turns, I went Gabu, Matt. Alright, promote, swing, Matt. Alright, hatch, Gabu, Matt. So basically from that point on, I had anything I was ever going to need for the rest of the game. And he just was never able to stop me. Especially when I bounce stuff and he doesn't have protection. So, pretty high roll, game 2. And then the final round, I played against Chris playing his Jesmon GX game. I lost that 0-2. Game 1, I potentially could have lethaled him if 2 things would not have happened. Thing number 1, he hit Scramble out of my security, and obviously added it to my hand. So when I started my next turn, I don't know why, but like it was just not in my brain that I had Scramble in my hand, so I didn't use it. Because I didn't draw it, it was added to my hand, and I was just like, oh, whatever. I put it on top of my hand. I basically like checked security, I have my hand sitting on the table, I put it on top. So it was at the back of my hand, and I just completely forgot I had it. Because that means I would have had a clapback play for the turn after. I could have recycled a piece and done my shenanigans. And then, on top of that, if my Ancient Garu would have survived his security swing, I would have been able to end of turn delete himself, cancel it with Miraculous Mega Knight, go into Omnimon, and then swing for game. But I had a 13k DP in the security. It passed turn, and I didn't get to finish him, essentially. So that was just unfortunate. And then game 2, I basically couldn't really play all that much. Like, my hand was pretty dumb. Like, I've had some pretty bad luck so far already with this deck, where I just see every copy of Kendo Garurumon, but 0 copies of Lobomon. And that just kept persisting throughout the entire night. But, that's just a me thing. I'm pretty sure anybody else picks up the deck and they're probably going to be like, oh, this is awesome. Meanwhile, I'm just like, oops, all Kendos. So I basically just sat there and watched Chris kill me while he slow rolled me with the Gonku clearly visible on top of his hand, because I can see it. The Gonku X. And that's literally all he needs to do is Evo into the Gonku X. His whole field is suddenly immune, and then boom, my Omnimon does nothing. And he's like, oh, I gotta play around the Omnimon. And he's sitting there holding the Gonku X right here. I gotta play around the... There's a Gonku right there, and he's like,
he has to play around it.
Gotta play around it.
I gotta play safe. I gotta be Sean here, okay? I gotta make sure all avenues are closed.
Yeah,
there are no possibilities for you to somehow come back.
Yes, because the Omnimon's gonna come out.
I have to destroy your confidence, your your manlyhood before I can finish you off.
I'm sure.
Alright, so I'll go next. I got second last night with Jesmon after making a couple changes. Round 1, I played against Gallant X, not Sean's version, the more common version. Same thing that can kind of happen with that deck. It's a red deck. You can just brick sometimes. I guess that's what happened to him. Game 2. Game 1, I guess Game 2 he did actually establish Gallant X. I don't think he ever established in Game 1. Game 1, I don't think he was expecting me to be able to out a couple of his bodies, so he was just like kind of bringing his Digimon out without any cares in the world. And then eventually it was just like, I don't have any level 3s to play, so I guess I'm in trouble. So Game 1, I ended up killing him. Game 2, he eventually established the Gallant X. I was able to respond to it with Genku and Genku X. And then he just kind of wasn't able to see another Gallant. So I ended up getting that one as well. And then round 2, I played against Will, who was playing Galaxy. Game 1, I had the Jesmon hand, where it's like, hey...
Real quick,
huh?
he did admit that he 1-for-1 the Worlds deck, right?
Yes, he net decked the World Championship deck.
Yeah, because he was playing like Invisimon and stuff like that. So anyways, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Game 1, it's pretty obvious to everyone in the immediate vicinity that I have bricked super hard. I guess to everyone but him. He then spends all of Game 1 doing all of the Galaxy shenanigans to the point of where he has decked himself out. And he has not attacked me once. The only damage he has done to my security is through the Mirage that he Digivolved into. So he eventually allowed it to get to a point where I was able to establish some Digimon. And this is the part where I messed up. It didn't end up mattering, but it could have. I had one of the tokens from the BT20 Jesmon out, which has blocker, reboot, decoy. I had a Genku X, and I think a Sistermon, and maybe one other Digimon. I think it was just those 3. He had 3 Digimon. He had Hexblaumon, Mirage, and maybe Invisimon, yeah. I had 2 security. I had 4. Anyways, he does the Invisimon thing where he tried to blow up my Genku and my Genku X. And I should have activated the decoy and saved it. I would have ended up with 2 blockers. But again, I forgot about the decoy, so I let the Genku die, so I only had 1 blocker. He then realized he could not kill me through all 4 of my security, even though he had a blue scramble on the board. So he decided to give me Game 1. After he realized he could not kill me, and I would just pass turn to him because he would deck out. I guess is what he was thinking. That's my assumption. Game 2, I just actually was able to play, did Jesmon's stuff, controlled his board. Jess X came up pretty clutch in that game where I was able to attack into his bodies. Yeah, so that was Game 2. Round 3, I played against Sean, playing Royal Knights. I probably could have played a little bit better. I don't know how much of a difference it would have made. I was able to actually like poke at his security a few times and do stuff. But in the end, it really didn't matter. I forgot about the Cool Boy interaction. Completely forgot about that at one point. Messed up a interaction that would have given him way less memory that I didn't think of until Brandon mentioned something, who was sitting there next to me watching. And then we tried to gaslight Sean into that being the play, that being the play that I was actually trying to make. But it was like a huge difference. It was like the difference between 10 memory and 5. So basically what happened was he plays 4 medieval, which really hurts my deck like a lot. A lot. Yeah. So he had a medieval, an Oryukin, and like 2 Omekamons, maybe 1. I can't remember.
Something like that, like 1 or 2.
So basically, I had done the full combo. I went into Jessamon GX through the Sistermon CL, and what I should have done is blown up.
You were not immune.
I was not immune. No. What I should have done to give him less memory was blow up the medieval on the Jessamon GX effect, and then attack through the Oryukenmon. Because if I did it that way,
not only are you avoiding an ace.
Yes, not only am I avoiding the ace, but I'm not giving him the extra memory from the Jessamon GX Digivolution, because I would gain it back through the Oryukenmon deletion. But it wouldn't have really mattered because I forgot about the Cool Boy interaction. So it ended up not mattering. It did change. It did matter because like I don't give him as much memory, and I think in response I lose the Jessamon GX in that interaction. So that sucked. But you live and you learn. Whatever. Game 2. I think that was all game 1. Game 2. Pretty much more of the same. He just does Royal Knight stuff, and medieval gets established, and I'm like, I have to answer that or I just lose here. Which can take me some time sometimes. And then round 4, I played against who did I play in round 4? Was it you, Brandon? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was there.
I couldn't remember. It was a nameless, faceless, opponent.
It was over.
Well, yeah, when you're playing a dumb deck like that,
it was
like, hey, let me establish a board where everything's immune.
Yeah, it was just kind of
You're
like
also
I was
playing a dumb deck. Let's be real, Brandon.
It was kind of like playing solitaire, where I'm just like doing my stuff.
I'm just sitting here drawing for Lobos like my life depends on it.
I don't want to hear it. You literally promote, go Matt, draw, Gabu, draw. Okay. Digivolve into Kendo, swing, draw. You drew like 6 cards off like 1 card.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear any complaining. So anyways, Brandon wants to whine and complain, oh, Chris was slow rolling me, blah, blah, blah. No, I was playing the Sean way, where I'm going to establish everything, make sure you literally have no chance of winning, then I will put you down. That's what happened. And I'm very upset that the phone did not record the entire match, because I thought it was actually a pretty good back and forth match for a little bit.
I think I forgot to hit record.
Ow.
Yeah, because it didn't even attempt.
Yeah, because it would, if it had ran out of space, it would have recorded up to that point. There was no recording for round 4.
Yeah. Now, did I Digivolve into Genkumon X and then contemplate how I was going to kill him from there? And he goes, why are you even wondering? You're immune to my stuff. And I go, you're right. Omnimon cannot hurt me here. And then I did swing and kill him.
And then I do something very similar where I'm like, all right, Metal Garu, stun your board. And he's like, all right, Jessamon X, make my GX immune. Mm-hmm. Do it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's cool about that Jessamon X antibody, too, is it just says one of your Digimon, so I can make it my big boy. So, yeah, I ended up getting second. I went X1 last night, and we had a really good turnout last night, like 14 people, so yeah. It was good.
Quite a bit. So I played Royal Knights once again. Round 1, I actually played against Todd playing the mirror. He was playing Royal Knights.
What are the odds?
Yeah, what are the odds? It wasn't playing the same list as me. I had a massive advantage in that Todd did not build his deck. It was someone else's deck that he was borrowing, and
that never goes well for him.
Yeah, I have a lot more experience using the cards than he does, because he had basically like 0, I think, prior to that evening. He missed. He could have, the turn I killed him, game 1, he could have popped out his Omeka from his sources to give himself one more block that would have prolonged the game for 1 turn. But he only had 1 card in his hand at that point, and it was BT13 Omni, and he would have been drawing like a 2nd card for turn. And I would have had a bunch of dudes on the field. I think it probably would have made it awkward. He would have, I'm pretty sure, passed turn if he Omni'd me, because he didn't have a lot of guys on his stack. But it would have been like, we were both at that point had our Omnis and our Drazels were gone. So if I couldn't kill him on my next turn, it would have been like probably a kind of a grind. But he forgot about it, and I just swung for lethal. Game 2, it's kind of awkward. You just basically just answer each other's stuff over and over, and I tried to stick a Medieval Gallant anytime I saw it. And I just had, I was able to answer his stuff more often than he was able to answer me, and then I eventually just killed him. So I won that 2-0. Round 2, played against Brandon, playing Ancient Omni. He won the die roll, which was really unfortunate.
No, you won the die roll. You just set up your Cool Boy turn 1.
Did I?
You literally hatched, went into your Drazel, and then immediately played Cool Boy.
Did I?
That makes sense, because
I mean, I know Brandon said that that's what happened.
Yeah. And he'd only be able to do that if he was going 2nd.
I did win the die roll. Okay, touche. So Brandon opens pretty nutty, and it's blue combined with fast-paced aggro decks are really bad for Royal Knights, because you bounce my stuff back to my hand and it doesn't get absorbed by my Drazel. On top of, like, it takes a few turns to like set up your lethal pushes, so like you're being slowed down on top of getting run down quickly. He won game 1 very fast, and I was like, dang, that sucks. I guess I knew it was a bad matchup going into
this is where it's over.
Yeah, I was like, this is where my night ends. Yeah, it's over. Game 2, he doesn't open up anywhere near as well. I'm able to play around him bouncing my stuff as much as I can, to where I have a second body on the field that I don't care that he bounces, so my stuff at least gets absorbed by my Drazel. Ended up winning that. And then game 3, I guess his hand was a little awkward, because he sat there for a couple minutes before he finally hard played the Omnimon and blew up my Oryukin. And I kind of just fell asleep, and as soon as I put it in the trash, I was like, oh, I forgot I have decoy. Oops.
Looks like Brandon did too.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have done that if he would have realized it.
Yeah, because he would have given me
nothing else to do.
Yeah, you would have given me like 5 or 4 memory, I think, and then I just kill you on my turn because I had an Omni in my hand.
That's the secret. You just lull Sean into boredom.
For real, dude. I was like watching the match next to us during that part. But he already explained I was able to blow up the Omni and lethal him on my next turn. So it didn't really matter. I just had to think about it. I just had to do more math because I forgot to protect the Oryukin. So I won that 2-1. Round 3, played against Chris playing Jesmon. On his like 3rd or 4th turn of the game, he promotes and chunks me for 3 security, which is pretty good, but his board was not immune, so I immediately cleared the entire thing with 1 Royal Knight and a Medieval Gallant, I'm pretty sure, because you had like Jesmon X,
yeah,
or maybe it was just Blitz Jesmon.
It was just regular. It was just regular
starter deck Jesmon, and then 2 sisters, and I cleared your entire board with 1 Royal Knight and 1 Medieval.
Yeah, that was the moment I realized that, oh, yeah, Jesmon GX is only at 9 play cost, and you can reduce it to all the way to 0 and play another body with Medieval. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no.
So he never recovered from that point. I don't even like. I think you may have.
I don't think mini decks could.
Yeah, especially if you can't out the medieval because all of your stuff requires you to play things.
Yep.
Game 2 is actually where we had that situation where he blew up the Oryukin. So what happened is I had a medieval, an Oryukin, and then like 1 or 2 Mechamons on the field. And the turn prior, he had GX to me with a Genku X on the field and a Sistermon, so his board was immune for the turn from my effects. So what I did is I had enough stuff on the field to where I could suspend my own stuff for medieval after I played an Oryukin for free and targeted his Genku X for minus 15k until the end of his turn, because I didn't care about the GX. I just didn't want him to gain immunity or do anything else weird with his level 6 on the field. I just wanted that to go away. And I was like, I have aces in my hand, I have stuff I can do, I just don't want him to go into another level 7. So I did that and then medievaled. And then I think the medieval passed turn. I couldn't kill his stuff because it was all unsuspended, but I just established a medieval so I could have an ace target and force him to play awkwardly. So he swung into my suspended Oryukin because I had to suspend it for the medieval. Or no, he swung into the medieval and popped the Oryukin. And I had a cool boy on the field and an Omecamon in my hand, and I had an Omecamon in my sources, and I only had 1 security. So he tried to do all of his stuff at once. He was like, pop, unsuspend, trash your security, and I was like, no. Because I have things that happen as soon as you try to pop this.
No,
So,
I was trying to bypass. I was like, listen, my stuff happens.
So all he has is GX and a sister on the field at this point. And I have like 2 or 3 suspended Digimon. I think 2. He pops the Oryukin, and then what I do is I trigger my cool boy, play Omecamon from my hand, and that triggers medieval. Medieval effect, I suspend his sister and then just blow up his GX before he gets a chance to trash my security or unsuspend. And then I gain 5 memory, but I also lose 5 memory from the ace overflow, so it's an even. But then at that point, he can't really do anything.
So I deck myself out.
Yeah, you did deck yourself out. You did something because I ended up... Maybe that was game 1. Game 2, I don't know. I ended up Omni-Xing him just because. I can't remember if it was game 1 or game 2. Just because. I ended up like giving him the turn back because I popped one of my own aces. Yep. But it was clearing his entire board and he wasn't going to be able to do anything anyway. So I was like, whatever.
So I said, I'll draw my last pathetic card.
Yeah, he dropped he had 1 card left in deck and dropped a Sistermon Blanc and trashed a card to draw his last card. But I still BT13 Omni'd him for a game on my turn. So on that 2-0.
And unnecessarily.
Yeah, whatever. Round 4 played against Josh playing Deep Savers, which actually is a really, really bad matchup because their boss monster says, hey, if it's your turn, no on plays. If the memory is on my side, all my Digimon are immune to Digimon effects. So it like turns off the majority of the deck. Like you have to have like specific hands and play super awkwardly to get around that stuff. Fortunately, Josh has never play tested. Josh has never play tested versus Royal Knights. So game 1.
That's not what happened. That's what happened, but that's not what really happened.
I mean, that is what happened because he would have known to play around certain things if he had practice with the matchup. So game 1, he promotes and goes into Aegistramon like turn 2, like turn 3, I think, which is really, really quick. And he swings at my security as he passes turn, giving me like 2 memory and playing like 2 other dudes on the field. So he has an Aegistramon and then 2 other guys. But he plays out the source that gave him jamming as he swung at my security for 1 check. And he checked a 16,000 DP Digimon and immediately died. I'm pretty sure if he hadn't have done that, it would have been very hard for me not to just immediately die on his next turn. I'm not sure exactly what I would have done, but I would have been in a really bad spot. Whereas because this guy died, I was like, oh, okay, clear the rest of your dudes on my turn. And he was able to go into another Aegis-Dramon before I was able to kill him that game. But I was able to, like, he had to give me so much memory to do it that I actually was able to Medieval Gallantmon him while maintaining turn, so I could blow up his Aegis-Dramon and then clear the rest of his stuff. Game 2 was close. It took him a while to see his full line to go into Aegis-Dramon, so it gave me enough time to like set up my stuff. And he went into an Aegis-Dramon, but I was able to clear it. I had to Omni X and end of turn attack into it with Raid. And then he had 2 level 6s on the field that I couldn't clear, and he had like 2 memory. And I had Medieval Gallant on the field. And I had like 2 security. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm dead because he scrambled the Aegis-Dramon I just cleared back to his hand. So like I knew he could just DNA immediately into it. So I was just thinking about what I should do for game 2, or game 3, I mean. And then he's like, swing with Metal Seedramon, the ace at my security. And it had jamming or whatever. And I immediately picked up my hand. And I started thinking, he's like, oh no, you play aces. And I was like, I do play aces.
It was at that moment he knew he effed up.
Yeah, I had Crimson Mode and GX in my hand. So I was debating on which one would be better for me on my following turn. So I decided to Crimson Mode him. I blew up the Metal Seedramon, stole turn, and then I just BT13 Omni'd and killed him on my next turn. But yeah, Josh hardcore punted 2 different times in that match, but we take those and end up winning that 2-0 and coming in first and getting all the yummy store credit.
Poor Josh. Wanted him to win, but I needed you to.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. All right. So, how do you? Is it hyphenated? I don't know, dude.
It's on Digi-con.
Yeah, Digi-con discussion. So, did you guys get a chance to actually watch the stream back?
Yeah, I watched it.
I watched it.
I gotta be honest though, I had some skip time. I skipped all of the Agu and Terriermon assistant stuff, mainly because they were not captioned, so I had no idea what either of them were saying.
Yep. Apparently that's a yearly thing. They do that and they never caption it.
I don't blame you for skipping that. As someone who watched it live, I really wanted that to end so we could get to the stuff that I was interested in seeing.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was like adorable because obviously the Terriermon assistant was very animated.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I had no idea what was being said at all. So I was like, "There's literally no point in me watching this."
Yeah.
The video game reveal was really cool. Extremely upset that we did not get a reveal date. Kind of surprised by that. At this point, it just seems like it's gonna be at the end of the year. Unless like it's like what Brandon said, where they're just gonna drop a bunch of info and be like, okay, here it is in a month.
Yeah, they're gonna do
like
the
they did
same
with
thing
Sparking Zero.
Yeah,
possible. The game looks.
I think we're gonna get a lot less trailers for that than we did with Sparking, but yeah, it's probably gonna be the same thing where it's just like eventually they're gonna be like, all right, it comes out in 2 months.
Yeah, game looks great. I'm surprised it's all on new gen consoles. Just because it seems like it wouldn't be that demanding that like even the older gen consoles could play, but I'm fine with it being all on new gen because that just means it's gonna run well. The amount of Digimon we're getting is crazy. The guy said over 450, which is more than the other 2 games.
Had in a story game.
Yeah. He did say also that in surprise, because we've been speculating this for a while, and I think this is all but kind of soft confirms it. The main party in this game is going to be the Olympus 12 instead of the Royal Knights, because the Royal Knights were for the first 2 games. So this one's going to be Olympus 12, which is crazy because we've never really seen all of them together like this. We've only like kind of heard about them and know about them.
Well, they're going to be
on a different server, right? Which is the server we're going to visit in this game. So they're going to be like the main. We don't know if they're going to be the antagonist, helping the protagonist. We don't know.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
That little Digimon that's like in your party has something to do with it.
Yeah.
So
the video game looks really cool. Excited for that. Can't wait to spend probably like at least 80 hours to 100 on it.
Those are rookie numbers, bro.
That's just my guess.
Yeah, it's a standard
Yeah.
RPG, so.
So that was exciting. And then we got to the card game, which is all Sean was trying to get to. He's just like, just get me to this card game too. And I'm messaging Brandon while I'm watching it because I don't think he was watching it while it was going on.
No, I was watching
and I was like,
AEW still.
Yeah, so we got BT 22 and 23 confirmed to like what they're gonna be, and all we're gonna say is that we called it.
Well, to be fair,
they're
we
both
already knew 22.
as
soon as they released the Cyber Eden name, we knew, okay, cool.
We've been
Eaters.
Yeah. We've been calling it. We're like, hey, how cool it'd be if we just had sets dedicated to video games, and they finally did it. Especially because we've already kind of had some of the Cyber Sleuth cards, like Takumi, Nokia, and all that. But now, like, we're actually getting, like...
full-fledged set.
Yeah, like, and, like, Hacker's Memory. That one's going to be BT23. Fire. So... The Altards look really cool. We got EX, 10, the one with Blackboard Greymon, the villains one.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And that
it was. That's what.
Out.
Yeah, it was hilarious watching his reaction because those guys who played the game, who were doing all that, actually lived through that, so they probably absolutely despise that card. So that was really funny, getting to see his reaction of him freaking out, like, "Oh God,
not again."
Yeah,
Apocalypse really was the apocalypse in Japan meta.
It was like a few months they had to deal with that thing at full power.
Yeah, it was like 3 full months. They had to deal with like a tier 0 format.
It was purple the format. Melga,
and then
Pockley, and Anubis.
Sean has not been able to get his premium Bandai set yet. I thankfully have one ordered.
So my issue, I think the premium Bandai stuff is amazing. My issue was, I was like, I want 4, so I'm just gonna wait until I can afford to buy 4 at once, because I don't want to just check out once and then come back like 2 weeks later and check out again. And the pre-order time doesn't end until April 30th, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll just buy 4 before April 30th. And then I wake up the next day and it's sold out. And I'm like, that's really stupid. They are printing these to order. Why is there even a limit? Like, why don't you just have it be infinite and then you just print all of those? Because they're not going to get delivered. It says December of this year, but it's always at the very end of the month whenever they say that. So, like, they're going to be delivered in January of next year. You have plenty of time to print as many as you possibly need to order them. So, like... And they've since reopened it, I think 2 more times, and they've sold out every time. I'm like, bro, just open it until April 30th, and you're printing money. Like, it doesn't cost you anywhere near $200 to make this product. There's no way it does. So why aren't you just being like, okay, buy as many as you want, who cares? We'll just print all of these for you guys. It makes no sense to me.
And all those cards are worth it.
Yeah, all of those cards, like,
really funny.
What?
It's not even on the website anymore.
Oh, it's there when I look at it.
Bro, I just pulled it up. It is gone.
Well, let me refresh real quick. It's still there. It just says. It just says sold out. But anyways,
open a fresh page.
Anyways,
you already have it pulled up.
I've already have it pulled up, dude. I don't want to let it go away. So, anyways, if you look at the base rarity of all of the cards that are included, it is worth way over $200 just for the cards themselves. So I understand why it's being sold out, but I don't understand why there's a limit or a cap. Like, you have 9 months to print these. You're telling me that there's actually a limit to how much of these you can print. It looks like if they don't reopen it again, I'm just gonna have to buy the singles whenever they come out, which isn't the end of the world, or just be kind of annoying because I know it'll be more expensive than if I just bought 4 of the set.
Right.
But it's an amazing product. The only thing I wish they had done is the Blitz Omnimon should have been BT13 Omni, because we don't need another Blitz Omni reprint, but BT13 Omni needs a reprint because it's like $40 or $50 for the base rarity. And I think the Shoutmon probably should have been the new Shoutmon if they were going to print a Shoutmon in there.
Agreed.
Yeah, also, like, if you're going to print a product, strike while the iron's hot. Like, sure, you're not going to get it till January, but people are going to see the Royal Knight Omni and be like, oh, Royal Knight's really good right now. Let me grab that. It's just going to, like, come on.
I also think if some people were saying the Bloom Lord was pointless, which they obviously don't understand. That's probably been the best green level 6 greens I ever had, right next to Tyrant. I'd probably give it a little bit more than Tyrant, but if they were going to switch that with anything, it could have been Tyrant. That's the only one I can think of.
The best green level 6 is Medieval Gallimon.
Okay, solid. The best solid green level 6 greens ever had.
I think it was a good reprint just because that set is already out of print and old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how much the supers are, but I'm sure they're more than they should be.
Yeah. And then the Venus, a lot of people were complaining about that, but I think that's another sign about the Olympus 12 because Venus is one of them. And that card's just like a really good tech card that you can still put in like control stun decks. Like
I'm happy
kind of
with that
slow.
reprint.
It's kind of slow-ish now, but it still has its uses and can still be played.
Yeah, for sure.
The Leviamon's a really good reprint. It definitely needed it.
The Magna X, the Cherub,
Magna X for sure.
The Shadow.
Medieval. The fact that Medieval's even in it is crazy.
Yeah, Medieval Gallimon being in there is like okay, sold.
Yeah, David told
nice looking card.
Yeah, David was like, yeah, they did this and they're gonna hit it, and I said, please don't do that. I'll just play. They're like, if they do hit it, I'll just play this copy. I'll just play this one.
Not let's say ban it.
So, yeah. So I thought all the cards were pretty good except for, like Sean said, like 2 of them.
Dude,
the Blitz Omni has had plenty of reprints. It's had different arts. It's got probably one of the most amount of arts because in its regular set it had like 3 different arts, right? 4? Okay, yeah 4. So BT13 has what? Its base art, its alt art, and then a serialized one, right?
That's coming. We don't even have it yet.
That's not even confirmed if it's a serial, but yeah, that'll be the
literally.
So yeah, it could have used it.
Yeah.
Or they could have just been crazy.
It doesn't have a serial number on it.
They've shown pictures with the numbers. Do I need to pull up the Carfax?
I haven't seen that yet.
So
doesn't mean it didn't happen.
They could have been crazy and been like, "Here's Omni X." That'd been neat.
They definitely. So it could have been better, but it is basically like one of the best products they've ever come out with.
Yes.
Premium Bandai.
The mat looks cool. The sleeves look cool. The dice look cool. The box looks cool. Like it's a very good product, worth the money.
Well,
I'm not surprised it keeps. Yeah, I'm really not surprised it keeps selling out. But it's like Sean said, just leave it open. Unless they're like afraid of like bots and stuff like that, which I get, but I mean, what you're making money, you're not gonna not be able to print all this.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I don't see
free money. I don't see any
those
numbers
those are zeros, which aren't numbers.
Yeah, like I don't understand how they can't like. They will sell so many of. What would be nice if they just open it and they're like, okay, buy how many ever you want. The market will crash when those things start getting delivered, and I'll actually be able to pick them up cheaper than it would have been if I had just bought 4 of them. Yeah, a girl can dream. Hopefully they open it back up at a point where I'll be able to buy 4 of them.
Yeah. So talking about the actual card sets that got revealed and announced. We saw some more of 22. We still don't know too many of the cards. We got to see a couple alt arts, like a Nokia, the Omni. The Omni scene Nokia, which is going to be a crazy hard alt art.
Yep, that's really cool. The Errata.
Errata looks really cool. If you know about that scene.
It's It's probably not a tamer. It could be an alt art tamer, but it's Takumi or the female. I can't remember what her name is. Reaching out to Yugo or Yuko.
Mhm.
Is Yuko? Yeah,
No,
Yuko is the female. Yugo is the brother.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they have the same name, just change a letter. It gets real confusing.
it looks like this is gonna be a set based off that game, which I guess a couple of the cards we could be seeing in that would be obviously more Agumon, Gabumon, Omnimon support, because they're really important to that game. We're hopefully now. See, the problem with the Eater stuff is we don't get. I don't think any of the main BT sets have had like crazy white deck cores like that, so it'd have to be like a black deck maybe.
Just do it.
I mean, yeah,
there's nothing stopping them. Just because they haven't done it yet doesn't mean they won't do it.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because if they make it black, maybe they can make it work with the Diaboromon support they've already been printing with Errata, so it could like maybe go more seamless together. Because don't they reserve more of those like wacky decks for like EX sets, right? Like that's where the mother deck was.
I mean EOS,
and then EOS was it EOS all in one set, a BT set.
BT6.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so maybe they could do it. So hopefully that like seamlessly flows in if we do get something like that with like Diaboromon and Errata deck. Thank God we're finally hopefully getting a second Errata gamer. Please be good. Just do exactly what this one does, but just be a 4-cost memory setter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be getting a purple Arcadiamon deck in the Hacker's
23.
Memory game set.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have Shakua or Shakua? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Shakumon.
The DNA level 5. We're getting him. We're going to be getting... God, I guess like they could do like a hacker trait deck to give you
they probably
Kisuke's, like the 3 starters as like a line. I don't know how you do the pro tag. Kind of like how they did Takumi. He didn't have a deck. They just made him a generic white tamer. I guess they can kind of do something similar for Kisuke.
I think they did that because the game was still in its infancy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
But it could be something like a Nature Spirits or like something like that where it's just a multicolored deck with the 3 starters. I think it's Tentomon, Betamon, and Gatsumon for Hacker's Memory.
Yeah, I think so. I think that sounds right.
And then you could do the same thing for Takumi in the set prior, and it would be Haguru, Terrier, and Pal?
I think it's Palmon, yeah.
It's either Pal or Lila. It's one of the little plant level 3s. I might have the game case right here. I might be able to just look at it.
But anyways, so yeah. So there's we're gonna get 2 sets hopefully committed to that. And another thing is with the first one with BT22, we could be seeing some more Royal Knight support because they are so important, integral to that game. So there could be more Royal Knight stuff in that.
There's going to be an Omnimon in there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the thing is, Lord Nightmon and Alphamon are super important in that game. Like, they are, like, 2 of, like, the main characters, to that game. So, maybe we see new cards for them, which would be crazy, because we're just coming off a set that had them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll just be, like, one-off cards. Maybe Sean will finally see more yellow Lord Nightmon support.
Maybe, dude. At this point, if they release support for BT5 Lord Nightmon, it won't even be that good.
Yeah.
We're also probably looking at more Examon support because he is very important as well in the first game. All Force is also really important in the first game because Rena actually shows up. So we could get a Rena and an All Force again. That one's probably less likely because it's pretty... She's only in there for like a minute.
I mean, but it would be like it would be cool if they just gave her like a new tamer and like a new old force and be like, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Like, you know, because
one was pretty solid.
Yeah, like old force just needs maybe a little touch up, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
Problem is the price of that deck. No one wants to spend that amount of money on Renos.
For real.
Especially if it gets support, because they're like 30 or 40-ish, and the deck is not seeing play.
Nope. Just because she is a secret rare.
Yep. Secret rare with waifu tax.
And then the next set we also saw was the EX9 one with the like Digivice borders or the V-Tamer pet ones, right?
Yeah,
was that 9?
Pretty sure.
Those look really cool. Now what the cards they've shown for that set though so far.
The gimmick is not hitting yet.
It's hopefully there is a way that either the Machinedramon or Blackwood Greymon will flip the face down cards face up, and you can just gain a bunch of random resources like with inherited effects or whatever.
Yeah, like make it to where the option cards even have inheritables.
They could do that, yeah.
It just, I don't know, like the card arts look really cool. I'd be like, man, I'd like to collect these. These look sick. But then when you read some of those effects, you're like, oh.
I don't know.
These aren't good.
I think the Metal Greymon is good just because Greymon Tribal needed a mid-range removal effect because, like, it has a couple, but, like, it's like the Secret Rare Greymon and like Metal Greymon X from BT11, and like that's basically it for like in-archetypal mid-range removal.
Which set is it that Medusa's coming out? Is that 21?
I think it's 21, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then EX9 we saw that, and then 10 we got confirmation that it's a villain set. So hopefully we see Blackwood Greymon Ace there, and it's good. They've already talked about we're gonna probably see we're gonna have a Pokemon. What else? What other villains? I'm assuming like Piedmon probably.
Blackmore. They mentioned Bogra and Blackmore specifically.
Right.
Ideally, we get the Black Gears and the Black Spires in.
Well, that'd be cool.
That set.
A new Digimon Emperor.
Could get a new Digimon Emperor. I want a Brain Control. I want a Black Gear Brain Control. I think that'd be sick.
That'd piss me off. Yeah, how long I worked to build this Digimon in the raising area, you just gonna take it from me?
Dude, imagine it worked like what's the card? The one I can think of is like Mark of the Rose, where like you take control of it on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn they take back control of it, but it switches back and forth. Yeah.
Kill it now. It must die during my turn.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy that we're this far into the game and we have yet to have a card stealer.
I don't want one. We don't want one. Keep those away from us.
I think the Eaters, it's possible the Eaters are going to do something like that. Like they could strip your sources and steal your inheritables or some bullcrap like that, or steal your top card.
I think it's only a matter of time before we get something like that.
Huh?
I think it's only a matter of time before we get some kind of steal effect.
The problem with that will be, we already know this, is if you try and play online, like, you know, in like webcam events.
Oh yeah.
You can't really. Yeah,
give me your card.
Yeah, doing that would be a little difficult, like keeping track of it and all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. You know, you just have to ask your opponent, like, okay, what's the inheritable if you don't know it or something, or what's the effect. So it's very much possible, but it just seems like it'd be kind of chaotic in a webcam event with those kind of cards. So
yeah,
all very much exciting. Digimon Con was pretty cool. Well, I mean, before we move on from it, speaking of difficulties with a web event, you know, maybe if this app works, we won't have to deal with that anymore.
Official mobile app.
The official mobile app, yeah.
It's been 84 years.
I'd like to see a little bit more of it.
Sean, would you like to go into your Debbie Downer hot take?
I don't have a Debbie Downer hot take.
Was it Chris then?
That was
Which
Chris
one of you
that was being a Debbie Downer about it.
Oh,
I'm
Chris,
not being a Debbie
plus
Downer.
Debbie
I'm
Downer
being a
hot take.
realist. It's
This
not
is
a
like
hot
with
take.
Brandon with bees.
I was
my
right about
God.
the
This
bees.
is nothing
The
to
deck,
do with
the deck
bees.
sucks, but it wasn't anything. Well, I mean, technically Bandai did do it, but like it was just lack of support.
All I'm saying is, from what we saw in the trailer, it seemed more like a single-player simulator game than it did a
You have
multiplayer
nothing
game.
to go off of to even say that.
like a
Nothing
10-second clip.
from the gameplay tells you that is a single player. It could very well be
Out of
PvP, which it most likely will be.
The
It's
cards
probably
had
gonna be
no
both.
effects. They had no text. The
Yeah,
game
it's-
looked good.
They don't-
I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Think about the fact that it is a mobile game, so your screen
Yes.
is like this big.
Sean, listen.
They have no reason to put the text on the card because you can't read it anyway. It's always been like highlight this card to read it. You just need to
Out
see
of
the picture
everyone
and that
here-
tells you what it is. No one reads their cards anyway.
You're right. Out of everyone here, I've played the most mobile games. Okay, I've played Marvel Snap and I've played Pokemon Pocket. Okay.
Okay.
Now both of those have multiplayer. I'm just saying from the trailer. Hopefully, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. And I'm not saying it won't be multiplayer. It just seemed like they introduced like story characters for it. I'm like, oh, hopefully this isn't some like weird single player simulator game where you're gonna play like chapter
I didn't
missions
see any
or something
story
like that.
characters for it. I'm not even sure what you're
Yeah,
talking
they
about.
introduced brand new characters.
Yeah,
just for this.
they introduced like 3 brand new characters for the game, with a new Digimon and a new protagonist for the game. That's why I was kind of like, oh, hold on, because it just seemed like if this was like a multiplayer game, they would have just had like 2 humans there, and they would have like, you know, maybe would have shown them like playing it.
I mean, they could just be new cards. You know that, right?
The thing is, as well, even if this mobile app is purely a PvE game, guess what? Now they have the skeleton, now they have the bones, they could easily just make that into a PvP only simulator.
Yeah.
It should be
fair.
PvP. It should be. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to
probably
be.
going to be.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just holding out. I'm holding out, like, you know, like hope. I'm like, hey, like hopefully it is. Yeah.
It will most likely be both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be both. I just was like hoping, because we don't know how far in development it is. I was just hoping maybe it would have shown us a little bit more, and that was just
any dates.
Yeah, that's why I was just kind of like, dang, just show us more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely be hearing about it more throughout the year, 100%.
Also, it's called something very weird. That was another like
Digimon Elysium, I think.
Yeah, just call it Digimon Pocket. Just rip that from Pokemon.
Right,
Just
rip
Digimon
it.
Pocket.
Digimon
You can't
Geo?
trademark. You can't trademark Pocket. Okay. You can't trademark Pocket.
Well-
Just call it Digimon Pocket.
You can't trademark Pocket. You can trademark Pocket in the sense of being used as a mobile game for a trading card app.
No, that's. I mean,
That is how-
who
that's how
says that's what it
trademarks
is. Says that's what it is.
Either way, it doesn't. It's not an alliteration, so it wouldn't work the same. I am really excited
It's a
for
good
it.
sign. Very good sign for the game.
Yes, very excited. It seems like there is quite a bit of support coming and more stuff. Like they keep doing more and more rare pulls and sets to make it more enticing to buy sealed product, even if you already have everything you would want. They're doing stuff like that where we're getting a mobile game. Ideally, that means we're going to start getting inserts in packs where you can like get packs in the game out of your IRL packs, like how they do for Dragon Ball, where like they have like codes and stuff. Feel free to steal this code that I just flashed on the screen. I'm never going to use it. I don't play that game. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, and we know for a fact that the mobile game is going to have the screenshots have at least up to BT6 in the game.
Yeah, because we saw Bond, right?
Josh pointed out the BT6 Gabumon in one of the screenshots. But I've seen other people. I've seen a screenshot of someone showing a BT16 Gabu Bond, but I didn't see that in the trailer. I don't know if maybe they saw that Gabumon and they just extrapolated, but So it seems like it's probably going to start off like as a base game and like maybe progress, because that makes more sense if you're trying to get new players to play the game. Because if you started it where we're at, yeah, there's going to be I mean, it's not a massive barrier for entry. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh levels barrier of entry, but you have to learn quite a bit, and it would be much better to start off with this base version and then like learn as you go.
Yeah, I enjoyed Duel Links way more, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, way more before they started. That's when I dropped it, is when they were like, okay, we've reached the point where we have to start introducing synchros and XYZs and stuff like that. Like, the game was very, like, fresh and kind of, like, old school, where I was like, okay, this is, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! That, like, I enjoyed playing back in the day. And then they were like, okay, well, here it's synchros and XYZs now, and I'm just kind of like, no, I don't want to play this, so I stopped.
I like those. I just didn't like pendulums and links.
Pendulums
Actually,
is where it stopped.
It was
pendulums, really.
no. I don't hate those cards. Just in that format for Duel Links, I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about pendulums. Pendulums were extremely unfair. I'm talking about synchros and XYZs. I don't mind those cards. I just didn't like them in Duel Links in the kind of format that game is.
It was funny. I was actually just watching a Yu-Gi-Oh video the other day. I didn't realize they completely overhauled how pendulums worked.
Mm-hmm.
They're completely different now. It's crazy.
Well, they created that link master rule try to fix pendulums because of how broken they were.
Yeah.
And then they undid it and they were like, okay, links and pendulums still have to follow this rule.
Yeah. Now pendulums, like, Chris, have you heard any of that?
I don't follow Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I mean, he has no reason to know this.
But
I don't even know why I know it.
Oh, yeah. Basically, in the new Master Rule set, you can only special summon, like, one pendulum from your extra deck. Everything else has to be from your hand. And I think the one that comes from the extra deck has to go in the extra monster zone, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So they actually balanced pendulums now.
They created a whole master rule to try to fix pendulums, which was a mechanic they designed themselves. Yeah. Morons, dude. Their R&D department is trash.
I mean, hey, I will say this. At least we haven't had to have a quote-unquote master rule change in this game, because that's insane. Like,
I consider Mother and Shoto a master rule.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to the next year of Digimon products.
Should be heckin' good.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Very good, very nice. Now we just gotta bully Sean to play Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. He can say it's for the content, so he knows what his cards are gonna be doing.
Maybe.
You can see Lord
that Nokia Steen. We're gonna need that card.
The Nokia alt art is sick.
Like, Sean, don't you want to see Lord Nightmon, but with Big Booba?
No.
This dude.
I just want to see Lord Nightmon.
That's not what it really. That's not what it really is, Sean. Don't listen to him.
No, it's just Lord Nightmon with Big Booba.
What a weirdo, dude. What a weird thing to say.
If you know, you know.
Rule 34.
If you know, you know.
Underneath all that armor, Sean.
Alphamon got Big Booba.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, what's wrong with Japan? They're the ones who do these things.
They do these things.
It's even funnier when they do, like, idle animations during, like, conversations, and it's just the entire time they're talking.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus, man, do we really got to do this?
It's like, you guys have problems. Alright, weekly reveals. So we have high quality Gaiamon SP. Looks pretty dope.
I agree. I think I agree with you guys. All of these alt arts look really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy they finally figured out that like the monocolored SPs are kind of ugly and they should do something different.
Yeah.
Then we have promo Doraemon for Chronicle. When attacking once per turn, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the Chronicle trait in the hand.
Oh, so you have to have 4 of these for Chronicle.
Yes, you do. It is a replacement for the other Doraemon, 100%. So these will probably be kind of expensive, just because like
that's That's crazy. This plus like one tamer, you're going full combo pretty much.
Yeah, you have to pay the memory for it. It doesn't let you do it for free, which is like, I guess, the balance. But yeah, it's similar to how like Fenrir can swing once and then just be like, okay, Evo.
Now I'm in
do you see how it says once per turn right there next to when attacking?
It does say once per turn. That is a good catch.
I mean, I don't know how you would trigger multiple when attackings in the same attack, but
it doesn't matter. But do you see how it says once per turn?
So if you're playing Yuji, you can tuck the old or Yukin, and if you're in an Alphamon end of attack, you can restand and swing again.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other ways, but like that's one off the top of my head. Yes, once per turn. Good job, Bandai.
Like the same attack is happening.
What?
Shut up. Go to the next card, Brandon. Shut up, Brandon. Gossipmon. Oh, this is me at work.
Security. At the end of the battle, play this card without paying the cost. Then on player, when Digivolving, you may return one Digimon card with the Appmon trait from your trash to the hand. His link effect is plus 3000 DP, and when linking, you may return one Digimon card with the Appmon trait from your trash to the hand.
Isn't this like the second or third Appmon card that has that exact security effect? Are they just gonna be?
I think there's one other one. I think this is the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I was gonna say, are we just gonna have like a bunch of these just get spammed out of security, and that's how this deck's gonna be like?
I hope you play Pillowmon before you start poking at Appmon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, it's good recycle. Obviously, that's why it's purple. Then
we won't know more about this deck until like we actually see it built.
Yeah, this card's trait is mind control.
Oh no.
It's Cherismon, I guess.
I was gonna say Charismon. Like he's got the charisma.
Okay, yeah, Rismon. Blocker. On player, when Digivolving, you may link one level 4 lower Digimon card from your trash or this Digimon's sources to this Digimon without paying the cost. Your turn once per turn. When this Digimon gets linked, give one of your opponent's Digimon start of your main phase of Digimon attacks until their turn ends. His link effect is plus 4000 DP, and then all turns once per turn, the Digimon would leave the battle area by trashing one of the Digimon's link cards it doesn't leave.
Oh, that's really good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Hey, that's level 5 right there. Every time we get a new support like archetype like this, and they give you a level 5, that's the best card in the deck.
Yep, that is pretty solid.
It does everything the deck needs to do.
What is the first line up there, Sean? Right above blocker. What is? I can't read it because of the sample.
So it has App Fusion, so it just explains how App Fusion works.
Okay. It's just App Fusion. Gotcha. Yeah. So it hard Digivolves no matter what for 4.
Or you can App Fusion for 0.
Right. Okay.
This deck's probably going to be pretty AIDS. I'm assuming App Fusion is also going to ignore Summoning Sickness like DNA does. And if it does, this deck's probably going to be pretty solid just based off that alone.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I like new mechanics. I'll try it out.
Yeah. We have Puppetmon Ace. This also looks really good. The SP.
Yep. Where's his gun? Give him his gun, Bandai.
Dude, I see his rounds on his chest.
Give the nuns their guns.
For real, dude. Then we have Promo Gigimon. On deletion, you may return one card with the Growlmon or Galmon in its name from your trash to the hand.
Do you even play this in heavy metal?
This is a Megidramon support, my dude.
This is Megidra. Because you're blowing up your own stuff.
Do you play either one? Do you play this in either one?
You would not play this in heavy metal. Heavy metal doesn't have any Digimon that this would even get back to your hand.
Would you play this in...
I would also wouldn't play it in Angels. I wouldn't play it in Chronicle.
Okay.
I don't think I play this in Adventure.
Yeah.
What about Gallant? Would you play this in Gallantmon?
No, you wouldn't. You have no reason to play this in Gallantmon.
So this one seeing you play?
If you build Megidramon, the archetype that this card is clearly intended for.
But what about heavy metal?
Shut the hell up.
Just proceed.
Yokomon. Your turn once per turn when any of your Wind Guardian trait Digimon are played, draw one.
Oh, that's pretty good. That'll help its consistency.
Yeah, draw power is always nice. Then we have Floramon.
Also once per turn.
Yes, it was once per turn. On play with the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Avian or Bird and any of its traits, and 1 card with the Wind Guardian trait among to the hand, put the rest on the bottom of the deck, and Heritable is jamming.
I was about to say, didn't we read this already? But I think this is one of the cards they showed at Digi-con.
It was a weird screenshot. You're right. I'm pretty sure. Then we have. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. Mushroomon. On play, you may suspend 1 Digimon and then Inheritable Piercing.
Those definitely read like green and blue cards.
Yep.
Yep, those are very generic red. Yeah, green and blue.
They have SP Galactic Mon. Looks like a cartoon.
You should see the game, Sean. It's crazy. He's basically an AI who takes over like a Star Destroyer satellite. He's like, you know what? I just kind of want to kill the world.
Yo.
He's got all the planets behind him.
Yeah. Is this a reference to the Olympus 12?
No, so in this video game, basically the Venmon are like AIs created, and they take over like a battleship, and it becomes Destromon. So that's where you see like the cannons and stuff, and then it literally goes into space, takes over a satellite, and so that's why it's got like the moons and stuff out there, because it's in space.
Okay, those are all planets, but all right, that's interesting.
Space theme.
Yeah, I think it's just a space theme, because like you can see those stars down there too, right underneath his. So I think it. I mean, maybe it is. I just assumed it was like a space theme.
I mean, if they weren't in whatever thing he was from, then.
Oh yeah, no, they're not.
I didn't
I'm
know
aware of.
if they were maybe in the same game or something.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, cool looking art.
Damn.
Shame the deck sucks.
Whoa. That deck won the worlds in the Liberator comic.
Oh, and the made up story that's fiction that won worlds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sagittariumon does evo on top of Vmon for 2 memory, armor purge. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less.
I just don't see where this could get
last night.
Sylphimon support? Question mark.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I don't really know where this would get played, but I guess in there, right? The problem is you're having to Digivolve for 3, right?
Yeah, that's. I don't really know what else you would do with this card. I mean, they probably printed it just because of lore, but
armor rush maybe.
Yeah, but the armor rush is literally Magna X now. It's not like
at this point, yeah.
Yeah, armor rush is not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where this fits anywhere. I mean, I guess it's just a cool card they printed. I just don't know where it fits in anywhere.
Yeah, Sylphimon is what comes to mind for me because it's a free trait that's red and yellow, but other than that, I have no idea.
Otherwise,
Destromon. When Digivolving until your opponent's turn ends, their effects can't trash the Digimon stat cards. Then to one of your opponent's Digimon, de-evo 1 for every 2 Vemmon in this Digimon sources. All turns when Digimon leave the battle area, you may play 1 Vemmon from its sources without paying the cost. Inheritable. Opponent's turn, once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 2 Vemmon from the Digimon sources to the bottom of the deck in that attack.
Yeah. Very good.
Sure, yeah.
okay, I guess.
Now, I was very disappointed with this tamer. I mean, I'm glad it's a memory setter, but it's the rest of its effect leaves a lot.
This is an in-archetype searcher that sets your memory to 3 for the rest of the game. What's there to complain about?
I wish it did more.
It doesn't let him just win the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Zenith Memory Setter. On play for the top 3 cards of your deck. Among them, play 1 Vemmon without paying the cost, or add 1 with Vemmon in its text of the hand, trash the rest. That card seems really good for an archetype card.
No, just not enough. I need more.
Okay.
More?
And then we have Buyout Inducing Dracomon X Antibody. Start of your main phase, or when Digivolving, this Digimon may Digivolve into Cordramon in the hand without paying the cost. End of turn inheritable, this Digimon and any of your other Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand.
That's what the deck
pretty good.
needed. Oh my god.
Hopefully you bought your Alt Art Examons before they doubled in price because of this card being leaked. But they may go back down, spoilers.
This card's pretty good.
Yeah, this card is very
Also,
good
are
for
we-
the archetype.
Are we calling these leaks? I mean, they're just posting these on the English page, like,
Spoilers?
consistently
I don't
now.
know what you want to call them.
now.
Then we have the Metal Greymon, which... Okay,
Love it.
I read this card because it was on the Digi-con stream, because I was like, I've seen this card already. So when this card will be played by trashing one Cyborg or version 1 trait card from your hand, reduce play cost by 2. This has version 1 in its traits. I'm assuming most of the cards in this set are going to have that trait.
Right.
And then on player, when digivolving, by placing one Digimon card from your trash face down as Digimon's bottom source, delete up to 5,000 DP total worth of your opponent's Digimon. For each of the Digimon's face down sources, add 2,000 to this effect's DP maximum. Inheritable security attack +1. So this is base 7,000 DP, functionally.
Yeah. This is pretty much kind of like an ace without being an ace. Like, I mean, without obviously being able to do it during your opponent's turn, but being able to just kind of play this for 5 and then like having on plays is really cool and stuff. So
Yeah, and so you can
I like
discard
that.
the cards you want to tuck underneath it to play for 5, pop something, and then
Not to mention, we have that option card that lets you reduce the play cost even further,
yeah.
because he's a cyborg.
I really hope people aren't going to play that in I mean, I'm thinking Greymon Tribal. I guess if you're playing Machine Dramon, which obviously you can play this in, you could do that.
I think it's possible we're going to get a Machine Dramon Ace that cares whether or not it's going to have face down cards, and it's not going to be actual standard Machine Dramon support. It'll be its own self-contained thing.
Quite possible.
Well, the thing about this one, is it's like a throwback to obviously the little V tamers.
Mhm.
But the fact they've also picked this version of Metal Greymon also calls back to Digimon World 1, where like the main antagonist Digimon was a Machine Dramon, so it's very much possible.
Or
Yeah,
hear
I'm
me
seeing
out,
this as straight up
Blackwood
Machine Dramon
Greymon.
support.
Or Blackwood Greymon.
No, Sean, you have to wait.
You shut your mouth.
Next EX set.
Oh, here we go.
Then we
Yup.
have Hacker's Slumber screenshot. There's a Wormmon happy in the back. Apoclymon and Boggermon. Sinister Order. And then these arts.
All
This alt art is going to go so hard, dude. I want to buy them even if the deck sucks.
if you know anything about the errata art, that art also goes extremely hard. If you know anything about the game,
I don't.
especially
so
with
it's
what's
meaningless to me.
behind him, Brandon, because I think that's exactly
Where
where
he's
it
at?
happens. Yeah,
Either way, this art goes super hard, dude.
yeah.
I would
it's
just
dummy,
I want 40s
dummy
on the
hard.
field and just be like, do something.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there like this, your
Yeah.
arms crossed.
Do
You're like,
something.
all right, go ahead. As you're losing the game,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
No matter.
Don't
I
Don't matter.
love
Look
you.
cool. All right. Here's a pretty disappointing card. Xamon X Antibody. Evos on top of Xamon for 2, or just hard Evos on top of blue, green, or red for 6. This does not DNA. Piercing, blocker, and evade. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers, then delete one of their suspended Digimon or Tamers. All turns once per turn when Digimon suspends, it unsuspends. Mandatory effect, that's bad. Then if Xamon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's sources, trash your opponent's top security card.
It seems okay. It just doesn't seem like.
It's just kind of more of the same. It doesn't take it anywhere over the top.
Yeah, like I imagine people who end up playing this play like 1 or 2 copies of it, maybe 2,
It's just an
just
extra
to try
swing
and
for
see it.
2 memory.
I am disappointed on behalf of Xamon players because if you Evo this on top of your ace, you actually lose a keyword.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if
I
you go on
the-
top of your other one, you gain keywords.
The one you shouldn't play anymore? Yeah, that is true.
I just imagine that this is like, hey, you're at 1 security now. I've done all my effects. Now I win the game.
If you have 2 memory.
Yeah, if you have the 2 memory.
If he also said when Digivolving,
Should-
this
it should
Digimon may
be one.
attack.
Should be one. One memory,
Honestly, yeah,
right?
it should be one memory. Because, like, this
mean,
guy is
second
not
protocol,
going to
yeah.
end the game.
Yeah.
Most of the
I mean, the art looks really cool. I'm sure the alt art will go extremely hard.
Yeah.
I like the laser. I like the laser sword. That's really cool.
Yeah, he looks cool. I think that's a staff, actually. I think that's just the bottom of it.
Oh, really?
Like, because if you look at the above his hand,
Oh, yeah. It looks like it keeps going.
yeah,
Okay, so he's Darth Maulin out here. Gotcha.
yeah, it's a dual lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
He does look cool. I'm sure you're right. The alt art's probably gonna look nice. I feel like this card should have been like, we are getting this card shown to us after getting Omnimon X in this most recent set. Compare the two cards.
Well, at least this is only a super rare. We're talking about Omnimon here. That's like flagship.
Yeah, but Examon apparently is like a giant dude on top of being like a royal knight and everything.
Yeah, he's just the muscle, though. He's not the brains, you know? Omnimon's the brains and the muscle.
Well, there's not a lot of muscle happening in this. Like, this effect is okay. It's not bad. It's just underwhelming because I feel like it should have been better.
Right.
I think if they wanted it to be really good, this is just me like making up an effect for it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you digivolve into it, it should have played out a Brahmon from his sources and something like that. That way you could play out your Slayer or your Breakthrough from underneath it to set up an ace play or something.
That would have been good. I think that, or maybe if it suspended everything and also stunned everything like Valderarm does for a turn on top of deleting something. I just feel like if you're going into a level 7 X antibody, it should do more than what this card does.
Yeah. Like, it's cool that it's also, like, generic tamer removal, but it's like you said, maybe they should all just stay suspended.
Yeah, just for a turn. Like, I'm not asking for a Quartzmon, but, like...
Yeah.
It's like, what I was thinking, if you could play out the level 6, you could play out Breakdramon, and then you could swing with him.
Yeah. Breakdramon would force the Examon X to attack, yeah. You could do that, and then that would potentially be lethal if they only have one security. That would actually be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was cooking, and obviously I was cooking too much because they disagreed.
Yeah. Just kind of disappointing just because of where the game is at as far as power level, and this guy is just not as good as you would expect him to
Yeah.
be.
Because you already have to do so much to get to that top end. It's like, this should have been, like, a game ending.
Yeah. Oh, didn't mean
Well,
to
it's Examon, so it'll probably have that effect, but in an option card.
Yeah. Scopemon. I hope there's a high quality version so I can just read the card. Let me just scroll down real quick.
There is not.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's weird. It's a Three Musketeers Atmon.
Huh.
It doesn't have it in trait, but it has it in text. On play, when digivolving, by placing one card with the Atmon or Three Musketeers trait from your hand or trash as one of your Digimon's bottom source, gain one memory. It links. Its link effect is plus 3k, and when linking, draw 2 and trash 2 cards in your hand.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's good draw power for 2 memory.
Yeah. Really weird support for Three Musketeers, but I mean, hey.
Also,
don't they want some of their cards in the trash?
You can only link this with Atmon cards. It lets you play Three Musketeers support in Atmon, which I think might be too good, but sure, why not? You can play all the new option cards. It's a strange choice.
Interesting.
Then we have Justimon Critical Arm. Does evo on top of Blitz Arm or Excel Arm for 1 memory. When digivolving, by placing one option card with the device trait from your hand or trash into the battle area, the Digimon gets 3000 DP until your opponent's turn ends. When digivolving / when attacking once per turn, by trashing one of your option cards in the battle area, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 9 or less.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
It lets you recycle your options that they're already trashed. The fact that it only trashes your option cards is once again kind of bad. It'd be nice if you just had the option of trashing your opponents as well. It does delete every ace in the game currently, but Other than that, 9 play cost is kind of whatever. If that were like 12 or 13, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Then we have Agumon. On play, you may return 1 Digimon card with the Reptile or Dragonkin trait from your trash to the hand. Inheritable your turn plus 2k. Apparently, this is Owen Dreadnought support.
Yeah, Medusa support.
Yeah,
Medusa,
you thought you were
Medusa,
getting
Medusa.
Greymon / hero / adventure? Psych.
It is the wrong number.
Cyclomon.
Yeah.
But we're all on the Dreadnought train. Okay,
Yes.
don't get it twisted.
Owen Dreadnought. Gonna
We're on
play
the
the
train.
deck regardless if it's good or bad.
I mean, judging by its level 4, I'd say it's pretty bad.
Cyclone Mon. This is the second Cyclone Mon we've ever had. The first one was in BT8. Security, at the end of the battle, play this card without paying the cost. And then on player, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. Inheritable your turn, the Digimon gets 2,000 DP.
This is one of those decks where it seems like it's like, hey, we just need to get to our top end as quick as possible.
Kind of, yeah.
Hopefully the level 5's decent.
You would
we already
think.
seen
I mean, Medusa
Yeah,
Mon
we've-
seems pretty solid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like
this
Medusa seems good.
This guy does pop the token that she plays. I
Yeah.
just realized that. Okay, so there's some synergy there. They're trying to cook at least. Blind Red Trigger. When effects, trash this card from sources. Delete one of your opponent's 7,000 DP or lower Digimon. While you have a 3 Musketeers trait Digimon, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Main, trash your opponent's top security card, then place this card as the bottom source of one of your 3 Musketeers trait Digimon. Security, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Wind Guardian's Field Spell. Have we not gone over this? Oh, it's a high quality version. Because
Yeah,
we've
it's high
seen this.
quality.
We've seen this before.
Yeah.
I'm very sure we've seen the Griffomon as well,
We have.
right?
This is also a high quality version. Okay, so that was the last one.
All right.
You know what that means.
Do I?
It's comment question time.
Time to read comments about people being salty that the ban list didn't hit what they wanted.
Or justifying hits that probably didn't need to happen.
I'm just upset that those darn dirty training cards didn't get hit.
Yeah, how dare they not hit consistency cards?
Yeah.
I saw Josh playing against Sean with 3 training cards on the field. I was like, that's just super unfair.
Yep.
That's so broken.
That's why I would have lost if he didn't pun, is all the training cards he had in his deck. Alright, comment questions. Vaughn Wafer 12. The Stingmon is one thing for sure, lol, but I still don't really get the Aguni Lobo hits. Has that deck been consistently topping and getting in the top 8s heavily? Don't really think so unless I'm remembering wrong. One thing worth noting too is that Bandai and the reasoning straight up said they wanted more people playing Emperor, not just Ancient Grey. If that's the reason, why not? Why for a hit like this, maybe they should make a better Emperor where people actually use it, lol.
Yeah, crazy, right? I know we didn't really talk about it, you know, the reasoning behind the hits, but now that we have the reasoning, most of them are just like surface level.
Yeah.
You can very clearly tell they weren't giving you the full story.
Yeah, because
The Goonimon makes sense to me because of what you can do with it. The Lobomon I get as well, but it's definitely not as, hey, promote a Goonie, 5 security checks, rush.
I think the actual issue with those cards is they allowed you to just splash an 8-card engine into a red or blue deck that significantly sped up your aggression and let you like play Tamers for free, infinitely recycle things. It's just really, really strong.
I mean, when they said, oh, people weren't using Magna and Emperor, it's like, okay, maybe it's because you shot Magna in the foot by completely changing the color deck he used in. Crazy how that made him unplayable. And the Emperor you printed in that set was bad.
Yeah, the Emperor cards and the Magna Garurumon cards have not been good compared to the Ancient cards at all. Like,
The
when you compare
Magna's
those,
never been good.
that's what I'm saying. When you compare them, they're like day and night.
How does the Ancient come out in BT17 and have this really awesome engine, and then you literally go to the next set and it's like, this seems like it was printed back in like BT 12.
Yeah. I blame the BT17 Ancients for those two promo hits, though, because it just it made those engines way too powerful.
It made more sense hitting those cards than it did hitting the Ancient cards.
Yeah, just because those cards are older and they do limit card design for future cards.
Agreed.
J Stewart 00. I'm curious to see now that we are essentially unified. Does this mean we will have ban and restriction lists happen more often? Because I know before in the past they tried to avoid hits because we were always a set or two behind from Japan and they didn't want to affect our sales. So now that we're unified, are they going to keep doing once every 6 months, or could they do something like once every 3? So it's quite possible we will get more.
I was gonna say I would do it every 4 months.
I mean, I think it just depends on the health of the game.
Yeah, I'm not saying there. I agree with Sean, which I'm assuming you're about to say is like we don't need to be on a set schedule. It's just like based on where the game is.
I think there's 2 reasons why you don't want to have a set schedule. One, you want to be able to hit stuff when it's a problem. You don't want to be like, oh, we have 3 more months until the next ban list, so
expectations.
Eat dicks. It's just you're just gonna have to tough it out. And 2, there's not always a time. There's not always a need to hit things. So like, if we go through a ban list where they don't have to hit anything, it's just gonna be updated ban list, no changes. See you in 6 months. Yeah. So
we all agree there's a lot of cards that can come off nowadays.
Yeah, I do think the sole reason they decided to finally unify us is because of the ban list, because they were forced to hit a secret rare almost, it was like 3-ish months before we even got the card in English, and that obviously completely tanked that set value to where they were not selling a lot. And I know as soon as they were forced to do that, they were like, we need to have everybody unified so we don't have to banhammer a secret rare and just completely decimate our sales worldwide. Because I know I'm sure that is the reason why they were like, we need to converge, because we can't let this happen again. So yes, I do think we're going to have, I think they won't be as scared to hit things now that we're unified, because I feel like they probably dragged their feet on the Apocalypse because they were like, this is a secret rare and English doesn't have this yet, we can't hit this. So yes and no, we might have more often, but only when necessary. Dr. Fabs 671. I just saw your Royal Knight build, huge fan, wish I had the money for all those medievals. Even getting the 2 I definitely want to run is daunting. I'm leaning into a slightly more defensive build with Lord Nightmons and Ganku. I'm loving Ganku a lot because if I stack my Drizzle right, I can get the DNA off or Yukon or 3 checks from the GX Ace off the Omnimon play. Planning on taking the deck to my first regionals this year. Hope to have at least 2 medievals by then to try and help with the RP Imperial matchups. For now, I'm running 2 Pawn and 2 Queen devices because I have a lot of Magna X players at my locals. The extra draw and memory from Pawn devices is nice, and I get great joy turning off their when Digivolving effects to clear the Magna next turn with one of my aces, but I'll probably cut them come regionals unless the meta develops into having a lot of Magna X and Floodgates to stop Royal Knights. How do you feel about the BT20 Alphamon? I have it in now to turn back on my BT20 Omeka. Just because of that, I find myself not wanting to play it until last minute, so it feels dead in hand. Sorry for the long comment, just very excited for this deck.
That's what's cool about Royal Knights is there's a couple different ways you can. Yeah, it's very toolboxy now that we have so many more cards that you can play in it, including ace cards. So, like Sean's list is very different from a lot of Royal Knight decks I've seen.
Yeah, I don't like trying to make your deck more defensive, because in this game that usually means it's worse. The best defense is a good offense, so you shouldn't try to tool your deck to be more reactive as far as proactive. The Alphamon is cute. However, you don't actually need to have 1 security to Omekamon your opponent. If you have a Cool Boy setup and a Royal Knight on the field, especially one with blocker like Magnamon, you can just block and then trigger Cool Boy to play a Mechamon out from your hand, even if you're at 0 security, and then Omni-X your opponent. Like, so you don't actually need 1 security to turn that on. I'm not a huge fan of it because it's not removal. I think you should try to put as much removal in your deck as possible, instead of having cards that don't really do a lot. Like Genkumon doesn't do anything. He plays out a body, but he also costs 13 memory. I'd rather pay memory to do something different, because he requires you to already have something in your stack you want to play. I don't like the devices. You have Oryuken mode, which cleanly outs a Magna X. You don't need weird toolbox things. You have an in-arc type out to Magna X for free. Try to get more medievals as well, if you can.
Spend $200 and you'll get a really fancy one. Although those are sold out, though.
You also wouldn't get it until January of next year, so.
Nice little surprise.
Yeah. That's too extreme. Mother Shoto should have been pair banned. It just locks certain decks out of the game if it can set up. It's toxic, unfun to play against regardless of whether or not it was winning events.
Get good.
Strongly disagree. I think it locked out decks that weren't going to win anyway from playing the game.
Oh, I'm sorry your Pulsemon can't attack me. My bad.
I'm sorry your tier 3 deck loses with this. My bad. I can't think of a tier 1 deck where it's like I auto lose to Mother Shoto. I can't win anymore. I can think of tier 2 and tier 3 decks, but
Yeah.
that's why they're tier 2 and tier 3 decks. I don't think it was necessary. I know some people don't like playing against it, but I think those are the same people that didn't like playing against security control. Because they don't like having to adjust to what their opponent's playing. They just want to do what their deck is supposed to do and not worry about what's going on the opponent's field.
Right.
Yep. So basically, what Sean is saying is tough titties.
Yeah, and what Chris said, get good. Rockley Rules 101. With Sinister Order confirmed to have Blackwood Greymon, would you rather have an attempt at supporting Greymon.deck or a standalone card like Medieval Gallantmon that you can rep in all your decks? A couple weeks late, but I'm a Sunchips fan and would always go for a bag of Garden Salsa with my Subway.
Hell yeah. Sunchips are so good. I'm a Harvest Cheddar. No, I like French.
You are a cheddar, dude. Trying to blow up my 6,000 DP Digimon with your Savior Hug multiple times.
I'd rather it be Greymon support because
dude,
that just seems more like it actually has an archetype. With Medieval Gallantmon, it's kind of like he seems like a side Digimon, where with Blackboard Greymon we actually have like I look at Medieval Gallantmon's like that's not a Gallantmon card. You know, I get it has his name. I get it has his name in it. What?
Counterpoint.
Okay.
If you go by the lore, Black War Greymon in Season 2 was a standalone dude.
That's true.
And the original Blackwood Greymon was, I think, potentially a 7-drop.
Hard playable. Yeah.
7-drop mega.
Dude. Because you outed one of their big dudes to play him, or if your opponent had a big dude
if
play
they had
him,
a 10k or higher, he reduces play cost by 6, I think.
Yeah, that. So I think if they go back to doing something like that and make it a Medieval Gallant style card, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
So I never even considered something like that. With the possibility of being able to play it in literally every deck, I would absolutely love a Medieval Gallantmon Blackwood Greymon. Because I would
what
get
colors? Black and
don't
red?
care. Irrelevant. You're hard playing it.
No, I know. I'm wondering what colors would it be? Black and red?
Either solid black or black purple would be my guess.
No, black red.
I guess that's possible. Yeah, it could be black red as well. You're right. I forgot.
The Gaios. Yeah, all the Gaios.
I would love that because I would save up money before we got that set, and I would buy 4 SPs. And if it were good enough, I would play 2 to 4 copies in every single deck I built from then on out, and I would love it.
This card doesn't do anything in this meta, but we're playing it.
We're playing it. Like, it's a good card. It's a good play.
When it comes to the
it's a good card.
When it comes to the chips, I actually just got these. They're brand new. They made spicy Czech spirits. So, Chris says they're okay. I haven't tried them yet, but they're just spicy.
I'm unfamiliar. Yeah, I didn't even think about that because the original Secret Black War was functionally a 7 hard drop mega.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be way better than getting Greymon support. Oh my god, that excites me so much because it is possible. Because I forgot that the original one was.
Don't get your hopes up, Sean. You don't want to get disappointed.
I forgot that the original Black War was basically a medieval Gallantmon. It just didn't do anything when you played it.
Yeah, it just didn't do anything. Yeah.
Beautiful card art though. Still one of my favorite card arts in the game. The alt art anyway.
Yep.
That's a great idea, Rockley Rules. Hopefully that's exactly what happens. I would love that. I will get the SPs. I will make sure to save up before the set comes so I can buy them before they get bought out like Medieval Gallant.
Babe, we gotta put a second mortgage out. I need these.
I need 4 of these. I need to. Cyber Commando 1. Sean should do a Beyond Broken episode to play the new Vemon and Ancient Toolbox. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
I find it so funny when we were doing those weekly reveals and you were like, oh, finally, a new dual-colored level 3. I can play Ancient Toolbox. Ban list incoming.
Yep. They're like, we see what you're doing over there. Quit it.
Stop it.
Benjamin Wiseman 6567. You're not playing that new Mega Kabuterimon in Tyrant, not because it's not useful, but because Tyrant already has more important level 5s that it needs. That's probably true. The level 5 slots are kind of tight. Because you're playing 4 shiny Mega Kabu, and then most lists like to play 4 of the redirect plus 3k suspend guy. You know what I'm talking about, Chris. You play green.
Yeah, Metal Life.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I've seen some decks play like multiple different level 5s, like 2 or 3 of some of them. So I mean, it's possible. Because the problem with Tyrant sometimes is its aggression. It can't put out enough damage quick enough.
Yeah.
So like giving it Alliance works perfectly with its strategy where it wants everything to be suspended. So I think it works perfectly with the strategy. I get what you're saying where it's like, hey, like we want these 2 level 5s. It makes sense. But like, I think it works so well with the strategy, and since it's suspended, and it's a level 5, you're gonna be able to ace onto it if your opponent does decide to try and attack you. So I mean, yeah, it's possible. I'm interested to see if it does fit in somewhere. Maybe it'll be a little nudge that Tyrant maybe needs to, like, get a little bit better, because I don't think it's been doing too well right now. I think Bloom Lord's actually been having more results than Tyrant has. Not over here, at least. I think over in Japan, Bloom Lord's still
it's probably
pretty up
Bloom
there.
Lord can just kill you. Mm-hmm. That's always been a big advantage for a Digimon deck.
Exactly. I don't care what you do. You're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill you. Is that cool? All right.
Swing.
Yeah. Swing twice.
It's gonna take me 10 years to get here, but
that's only because the only Bloom Lord player at our locals that came regularly was one of the slowest players at our locals. Venomous Monarch 2447. Thank you sincerely for answering my question from last week. Your advice is genuinely appreciated. You're welcome. I'm curious to know how Ben was cheating with Properial, as that is the deck I've decided on playing now that it's actually good. It was the first deck I played when I started, and I've just coped hard that we'd one day get to this point. So the way Ben...
I was going to say, it didn't have something to do with blocking or something like that, right?
Not
like
really.
He would attempt to attack and then they would block, right? Or something like that. That's what Robbie was saying.
Do you want me to tell you?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So
he's just gonna explain it.
How Ben was cheating is, so the Dino B effect that DNAs and then attacks, when it dies, if it dies to battle, if whatever it forces to attack, if that Digimon dies by battle, whether it's being blocked or out of security, the on deletion of whatever dies, it can trigger more and more effects. Like he can play a Shagermon or a Warmon or whatever, and then like DNA into another Dino, but you're technically still in the window of that same attack. You haven't reached the end of it yet. So that second Dino that you DNA'd into off of the Wormmon that you played out and comboed back into cannot declare an attack. Yeah. So that's how he was cheating, is he didn't realize that the attack was still technically going, even though like obviously Digimon's not on the field anymore. So
he's on the same effect chain, essentially.
It's just still during the attack, and that's, you can't have two attacks at the same time. That was basically that deck now is a ruling's nightmare. There's all kinds of weird interactions like that you need to know whether you're playing with it or against it. So yeah, he was accidentally cheating, and then he realized that when he was reading something, and he was like, yo, I've been cheating by accident. I'm like, wow, what a cheater.
Freaking Ben.
Yep. Ben.
Keeps making Josh and Ben late every week.
Crimson 35124. Japan Imperial players were starting to move toward the restricted Stingmon as the primary Stingmon. I remember testing Umino's first place Japan Finals Imperialist, and it made the deck so much more consistent and streamlined, not just from the draw power, but also needing one less piece for the DNA into Pyodramon, since you could just drop it for 3 memory. It definitely is stronger than the memory printing Stingmon overall, so it getting restricted to 1 makes Imperial more piece reliant. Still overall just a slap on the wrist for Imperial though. Yes. I don't think Matt should have been completely banned. He's used in so many rogue purple decks. I wish they hit him to 1 instead, since it would still have basically the same effect of nerfing purple hybrid while still leaving the tamer available for the other purple decks that used him. What purple decks that were actually
using it?
Yeah. Like what?
And also, you could not put it to 1, because then it's like I'm not gonna say it's on the same level as Anubis, but it's like at the same level as all those like are limited 1 cards, where it's like, hey, I seen it, I'm just gonna keep doing it because of the way purple hybrid now. Yeah, the way purple hybrid plays, once it sees it, that mat is getting used and abused like Brandon does at locals whenever he plays.
Yeah, it will just continuously get recycled unless you somehow are able to disrupt their tamer recycle. And even then, like, unless you put it in their security on the bottom of their deck, they can still recycle it out of the trash even if you delete it.
Yep.
So yeah, it made sense that they banned it completely, because they
generic loop. I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm still sad and disappointed that they've realized that with Matt, but haven't realized that with like Anubismon. That you can, it's not recycled as easily, but the issue with the Anubismon is if your opponent doesn't answer it every single turn you put it on the field, they will die.
Yeah.
But maybe one day, dude. So what were you gonna say, Brandon?
I was gonna say, I feel like this ban list hit a lot of cards that are used in loops.
Yeah.
The hybrids used in loops, Matt used in loops. Like, it just.
So you think about the Stingmon is also kind of a loop because of partition. So I was like, if it partitions out, you can just continue. You can follow back up.
Yeah, I've never built Imperial. Like, I've only played the Magna X DNA, which you can't play Stingmon in that version, in my opinion. But if I had ever built Imperial, I would have been playing 4 of that Stingmon. I was surprised that that's not standard, just because of the ridiculous draw power you get from it.
I'm with you, Sean. In the DNA version that we play with the Magna, you rather play the gain memory one over.
No, you just don't play Stingmon.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, we play the armor forms.
Yeah.
Anyways, in Imperial, back when I was playing it, I was playing some numbers of both. I think I was playing like 2 copies of both or something like that, because they both have their uses. It's like he said, you can drop it for 3 and continue the combo. So I understand why he got hit. It just, I guess Japan was just abusing the hell out of it.
Yeah,
And
they're
we
best of
weren't.
one formats.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still basically a slap on the wrist, especially for English players because most of them weren't playing that Stingmon. Surprisingly, but yeah.
Do you think it's possible Japan will get brought up to best of 3, or do you think there's always going to be best of 1?
I'm not sure. That is an interesting question because for Worlds we do best of 3. So like, is the only tournament structure where they play best of 3 is when they compete in the World Championship?
That'd be really weird.
Yeah.
Good question.
I don't know. Japan apparently loves best of 1s though, because they really have like a gambler's mentality over there, from what I've heard. So they like super high rolly Luxac decks where you can just like wombo combo your opponent, and you're just like, I high rolled you, so I won the first game, so I win.
That makes sense. Much
Would have been real nice for me last night.
Yeah, would have. You would have beat me 1-0. What a shame that we have 3 games to determine the winner of a match. Are you going to sleep, Chris?
No.
Benjamin Wiseman 6567. I'm pretty satisfied with the restriction list. I do think banning Matt was excessive, but I get the logic behind it. Magnex and Imperial needed something more substantial hit, and I'm surprised the Galaxy and Cerberus engines didn't get hit. But maybe we'll get another list sooner next time. I'd keep an eye on War Growl X and something from Purple and Purgemon, Royal Knights, and Chronicle for the next ban list. I think
I'm just not sure the Dark Animal needed to get hit. What's
Dark Animal package doesn't need to get hit. Dude, people just complain about that for some reason.
I also don't see an issue with Chronicle.
Chronicle will eventually, once it gets enough support, be turbo broken. Like, it is very clear.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near there yet. But it is very clear that there's framework for a very, very broken deck, just because of all of the effects you can get from just the cards that exist now. To like, you can set up like an unstoppable ace play that also steals memory. And then you have to answer it on your turn or their turn or whatever, and it has protection effects.
That Doraemon is very good for the deck too. The new promo one.
The Doraemon's good. The issue I played, because I've tested with it before, is I think you need more searching in the deck, like in archetypal searching, because like the issue I had whereas I just didn't see all my pieces when I needed them.
Yeah, it's one of those decks where it's like you're playing 2 separate lines and you need 2 separate lines. So it's like I'm not just playing 1 line of Digimon, like I'm playing 2 kind of decks that come together here.
Kind of, sort of. You really just need 1 line and both 6s and a 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really piece reliant. So I think like if they get more searching, the deck will start to become a problem.
Yeah. That's why people were playing that the Ryudomon.
Yeah, I've seen that. I played Yuji, so I'd get more memory and draw a card when I promoted. But even then, like, I would just have, like, 4 of a level 4 in my hand, but I need a level 5, and I'm like, I can't do anything.
Where are you at?
Yeah.
Me sitting with 4 Kendos and no Lobos in hand.
Feels bad,
We
dude.
get it.
Yeah.
This guy.
I don't think Magna X needed another hit. I think this is the same rhetoric that people complain about Mother Shoto have. Like,
I think Blinding Ray was just right.
Yeah, I can't beat it with my tier 2 or tier 3 deck. It's turbo broken, needs ban. It's a good deck. I think Blinding Ray's fine. I think that card should have been hit regardless of if Magnex played it.
Yep.
But we have so many, they're continuously printing more and more ways to out Magnex. Like, if your deck has an issue with Magna X now, you can literally just put in or Yukon modes in your deck as a 9 cost option that just immediately answers it. Pay 9 memory, that guy's dead at the start of your turn, answer this guy now, or I probably win. But yeah, we get more and more answers to it as the game goes on. Like, it's not that broken anymore.
I do believe the Galaxy engine, one of those cards could have been hit, whether it was the Gao or it was the Coinsio.
I was very surprised that the Galaxy didn't get hit. I think the Galgamon is the biggest issue with that deck.
It's free.
Yeah, it gives them jamming, which lets them aggro you with their 5s and stuff, or whatever they
You
put.
can get aggroed by a level 3, literally. Tuck, swing.
Yep, I've swung with a jamming level 3 before with that deck. And it also it gives them draw power, forces cards in your hand if they're playing Mirage. I think that's the biggest issue with that deck. Yeah, the Tamer is really good, but if you limited that Galgamon, that would severely hamper that archetype.
Right.
Yeah, very surprised that deck wasn't hit, but whatever. I don't work for Bandai. Sir Snails 3925. I'm honestly excited for any Bog or Army support since it was one of my first decks.
Well, join the pool of like 3 people.
Yeah, Bogramon looks cool. Like his original alt art looks really sick, but yeah, like that, that deck had like 1.5 waves of support technically, and that's it.
Yep.
D Lacey 1895. Shoto Mother combo has got to be because of the community, because Bandai said that it was planned to be used for what it does. I hope this isn't a sign that Bandai is going to yield to casual opinion when it comes to competitive balance. Preach.
Fair.
Yes. Ideally, they don't continue to bend to the will of the vocal minority.
Mother Shoto had people leaking on their Tim's Kakarot.
Yeah, for real. Avocado Loco. I'm with Sean on the Medusamon train. I don't know why. I just dig the aesthetics of Medusamon. The Victorian royal look and its keyword being progress is just a whole vibe. Though it'll probably just end up in a red-centered Galaxy Engine deck.
Damn it.
That is true. You
know
could
what?
just
You know
put it in
what?
Galaxy, yeah.
You know what? That is 100% facts. Sean will build the pure deck and go, you know what?
Yeah, I was like, you know what I could do with this?
This will just be better in Galaxy.
You just put this in Galaxy. Yeah, so the Dark Animal package is what you do with purple top end cards, and Galaxy is what you do with red and blue top end cards. It's like,
Pretty much.
This is a much better engine. This card's really good, but I just need a better bottom end. Fargo Wilta. Phoenixmon is also blocked in DCGO because of Ho. Kind of dumb when no one can even see your deck name. Also, what's wrong with gardening tools? That is so true, dude. People can't even see the name of your deck on the only person that can see that is you. Why does it asterisk out the name? Like, what is the point of that?
Yes.
Children.
It's like, if I want to offend myself, you should let me. But hopefully they fix that, because that is really silly.
I got Sean heated over here.
It's just stupid.
Sean opens up his deck list and he sees the word ho and goes, there.
It's just dumb because I'm scrolling through my decks on there and I see asterisk, 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 Oman. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh yeah, it's Gaiomon. It's not even the correct spelling of gay. Why is it asterisked out? It's so stupid. They're going to asterisk out the Gaiomon, the Atmon level 6. His name's going to be asterisked out. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Kyle Newey 9278. I hope the new Blackwood Greymon Ace is as good as BT8 was. Ideally, it's as good as Medieval Galamon is.
Sean's dreaming now.
Dude, it didn't even occur to me that was a possibility until he said that. And I'm like, yes, I want that in my life. I will make sure I have enough money to buy 4 SPs on release. Kyle Newey 9278. Barks has bite, though Sprite is goat.
That's why I like Barks.
Sprite's
got that
Sprite's up there. Sprite's good.
Barks got that dog in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Although Muggs does have a dog as a mascot.
It does. Muggs is also better than Barks.
Man, I want to do a blind taste test. See what like my true opinion is, you know? If I could distinguish it. Like, get generic brand root beer, get Barks, get Muggs, and then you have to try all 3.
You can... It's very easy, if your taste buds work, to tell which one is which, even if in a blind taste test.
You know, there's always that thing where, well, according to Chris...
You
wouldn't be
think
able to
that?
tell.
I know
you think that. Have you ever seen Good Mythical Morning, when they taste foods with blindfolds on, and it's very hard to tell? You'd be surprised how much work your eyes are doing when you eat or drink something.
I have not, but knowing what Barks and Mugs taste like, I guarantee you I would guess the correct one 100 out of 100 times because of how unique each... Like, they're very different from each other and how they taste.
All right, well, coming to a channel near you.
We're going to have to do a blind taste test. We're going to get a bunch of different root beers, and we're going to figure it out.
No, I'm
And
talking
just
about
so we can
Barks
make
and
sure-
Mugs specifically. I could tell you which one was which every single
No,
time.
you gotta get the generic
Just
brand
those
as
two?
well.
What the hell? How am I supposed to know what the generic brand is? I'm
it's gonna
talking
be the
about
one you don't
Mugs
know
and
which one it
Barks are very
Obviously,
different
it's gonna be the
flavors.
one you don't know. If you know the other two, guess what? The third one you don't know, that's the generic one. Listen, we'll do this, all right? And just so we can make sure it ties into the content, if you get it right, Chris will buy you one Alt-Art Medieval Gallon.
Oh!
Just one.
Whoa! Whoa!
Just one. You can afford it.
Whoa!
The SP and all.
Whoa.
He says he'll do it.
Yeah, the SP. They're like $700 right now. It's cool.
Only
It'll be one of
700.
those like clickbaity videos where like Sean has a root beer and Chris has a medieval gallon, and it's perfect.
A photoshopped SP medieval gallon in his hand.
Yeah, it's very clearly
It's
no.
a-
It's
no,
gotta be. It's gotta be like
it's
a
the other
hand-drawn.
one.
It's a hand-drawn crayon thing, and it just says SP.
SP.
I never said which medieval gallon, Mon. And then
Well,
it's like the
We can get you,
old
like,
one.
The old
get you an
altar.
Orca. Yeah, we can get you an Orca.
Jack Shintaku 4965. Rip Ancient Omni.
Don't worry, we did a salute for it. You know, we put it on a boat. We gave it a Viking funeral. Sent it out to sea.
When I was out there swimming after the boat, it's not dead yet. It's not dead yet.
It's not dead. M Dogman 5. Bring HPD to 4. Green is fair and fine, and we can all be trusted with HPD at 4. Stop the hate. I promise.
Okay, you guy gets it.
It's one of Chris's burners.
You know what? Actually, HPD is fine to come back to 4 because it's a green card that doesn't have an inheritable.
That is true. It doesn't have an inheritable.
Doesn't have an
It
inheritable.
can't possibly be broken. This one's going to be a challenge. Rahul Balakrishnan 29. I think save is a pretty cool mechanic, and I kind of like Digicross for cards like Ancient Grey, Dorbic, etc. But Digicross abusing Rush and getting a material save multiple cards kind of is weird. It feels like they are skipping steps in the game. Thank you. This guy gets it. That is what I do not like about Digicross as a mechanic.
I'm
See, that's
glad
what I like
Sean
about
said your name
Digicross.
wrong.
That's why I like Digicross in the ancient decks, because you're not abusing, like, you can't just swing with it. You're just putting a dude out who doesn't die at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
No,
They,
just get good.
they don't get Rush. And also, if they out your stack, hey, where did those resources go? In the trash where they belong.
I can recycle 2 of them, though.
Under my tamer.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, I think exactly what he said is why I do not like Digicross. Like, it is, at its base, it is an okay mechanic. I think is completely fine and balanced. But when because of the extra stuff they have given to it, I think it's, there's just no way to, like, there's no way to prepare yourself for it. It's like, do they have it or do they not? There's no way to,
Yeah, especially super early in the game.
yeah.
Y'all's tears taste salty.
No, I mean, they usually do.
That is how that works.
SC Marth. I wanted Moto Shoto to be restricted, but only if they also hit Imperial, and said Imperial got a slap on the wrist, and now they don't have to worry about a goalie.
Yep.
Open net season, baby.
Yep.
It's almost like it's cool to have checks and balances in a format. Crazy.
It is, yes. But people with their tier 3 decks can't beat the decks, so they're like, this is broken. Shinsen Gumi Gaming R2B. I did not understand the hit, however, remember they do best of 1, so if you swing with Pyojimon and draw 5 cards, you basically win the game at that point, so maybe that's why they hit so many cards. It did not make much sense to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lang Long, I think Digipanda mentioned that in Japan's best of 1, drawing 5 cards off of 2 swings is too much.
Yep.
A block of tofu.
Yeah.
I think overall this list was probably settled a few months ago, and they just held on to it for Worlds. Imperial wasn't doing much back in back in December, so slap on the wrist makes sense. It's come back because it's good against Red, Purple, Imperial, and Royal Knights. Fenrir fell off because of Red, Purple, Imperial as well. Mirage has fallen off even in Galaxy, though it still should have gotten hit, but so should Galaxy. Hopefully we get more frequent lists going forward. Overall, besides Purple Hybrid getting nuked, which needed to happen, I'm not sure this list does much in the current competitive space. When you look at the results of Worlds, this list wouldn't have changed a thing. Yes.
Facts.
The fact that the World Championship guy was playing one Mirage.
Yep.
It's like he knew. That
It was like he knew.
I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show you.
I'm gonna show you what I can do with one.
It's not this card. It's not this card. It's the engine.
Yeah, it's definitely the engine. The Invisimon is such a good top end for that deck because it just turns it back into a Galaxy stack that you can just abuse again. It's so good.
Yep.
I'm gonna end up building that at some point. I should just net deck the Worlds deck and just play it.
Just see it. This is the changes I would make.
I'd have to look at it. I haven't like looked at it and broken it down and determined if I would make any changes.
It seemed very standard.
Yeah, there's a decent chance I would change it, but sometimes I find lists that people have built and I'm like, oh, I don't have no notes.
There were a couple cards that I was questioning. Like I don't know if it's these. I don't know if Will net decked it. He definitely probably did as close as he could, because he was like he had cards like Metal Seedramon X Antibody in it. Which I was like, is that what that's supposed to be?
I can't remember if that was in the deck or not. That sounds...
It's inheritable. It was like this. The attack target can be changed.
I wonder if it was playing that instead of Huan-Kun.
See, that's what I'm wondering. Is if it was it supposed to be Huan-Kun or maybe even Marine Bullmon?
Yeah.
I was like, both of those cards seem way better than the Metal Seedramon X Antibody. So
I don't know. Ashes Fall 9530. Sean, thanks for the answer about the Magna X matchup with Galamon. You are welcome. It is not an easy matchup. You just have to adjust how you play versus it, which is the same. It's what you have to do versus any wall deck. Is you just have to adjust how you're playing. Bjorn Einar. Mother Shoto is not a skill issue, it's a design issue. If an archetype does not have access to tamer removal or a way to climb over 15k DP, the game's over right on the spot. It being gone allows for an attempt to a more diverse meta. Our meta is already diverse. That deck was not... Like, the people that are complaining about this, they just have one guy at their locals that's playing Mother Shoto and just pissing on them every single week, and none of them can figure out how to beat it. Because... it's not doing anything at major events. It never did. It like randomly topped like once or twice at the beginning of formats, but like
if your in archetype deck does not have an answer for it, that's why you play this little cool thing called tech cards. Cards that could answer it.
Yeah.
It's almost like when Sean was being an absolute menace and was building a deck that had an immune big dude with blocker. It's almost like I adjusted my list and put in a 2-cost blue option card that said no.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, just put in high speed plugin. Done.
Like, if you're so worried about it, just you have to adjust and adapt.
Yeah, if your deck loses to that matchup that hard, adjust your deck list. Yeah, it's definitely a skill issue. Sorry. Chemical Chocobo. That grandma looks like he is flexing to show his grandma what a strong young man he is.
Damn right, and he is a strong boy.
Yeah. Justin So 8231, $60 cross 7. Congrats.
Seeing as it's unsleeved in bulk, it's probably less than that now.
Yeah.
It's sleeved. It's put away. Calm down.
It's not near mint.
He's safe. He is very mint. I took a sander and I sanded it down, cleaned up those edges.
The edges. Make sure the edges were good.
Yeah.
That is all. AX9 Greymon has the peaked in high school football player dad bod.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Justin So 8231. The iPhone app Digimon Simulator with animations will make Digimon #1 TCG.
Oh, dude! Imagine they have unique animations for different Digimon attacks. That's gonna be so.
Now
cool.
you're asking for too much.
I don't want
down.
animations to be in the game.
Yeah, it'll take too long, right? You'd have to have a setting that just turned off those animations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And with it being PvP, if your opponent has the animations on, it's obviously going to have a delay even if you have them turned off because your opponent has to watch their animations. I would rather it not have animations in it.
As long as they're short and sweet. That's what I would say.
I would rather the game go by quicker.
Okay, but you don't want to see your War Greymon do like a giant guy.
That's really cool the first 2 or 3 times. After that, it would get annoying having to wait for the animation to play every time.
Hater energy.
I can foresee it. I know that I would get annoyed because I have to wait for the animation to play. Velion, I'm glad someone on the internet realizes that Motor Shoto wasn't a problem. Overall, I'm very unhappy with the new list. It is almost as if Bandai doesn't want the community making their own deck, and they only want us to play the decks they design in the new sets. This kind of tracks with BT20 and BT21, with most of the new decks being very insular. My takeaway from the list is that if your deck has loop in the name, Bandai is going to nuke it to the ground. It is a shame. I really like those decks because looping was unique. Purple Hybrid wasn't really a menace in the EX08 meta. It is a shame to see it go. A unique playstyle is gone.
Hold on. Wait a second. I'm pretty sure Purple Hybrid was an absolute menace.
It was still doing...
It was everywhere.
It was still doing extremely well.
And it's not true about the loop thing, because guess what the main loop deck is?
Galaxy, the World Championship
and
deck.
it is untouched.
Yeah.
No, they hit Mirage. Duh.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
You're right. They limited Mirage. Yeah. Yeah. Justin So 8231. Good luck in Texas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Pino 18. Flame me if someone said this already, but the second place in Purgemon list played 4 of the starter deck Stingmon, so they were the only one that didn't follow the new ban list. So it was one guy not following the new world or the new ban list.
Cheater.
And it was the Imperial player who would have expected that Stingmon was going to be the card that they hit in Imperial.
That guy's like, oh no.
He showed up thinking, oh, they're going to hit something in this deck. It's probably going to be this. And, you know what? I'll just put in these Stingmons. Opens up the ban list. What?
What? Justin So 8231. Kids playing the game means the Digimon TCG has a long longevity. Use coming into a game is a good thing. Also, please no rotation in Digimon, please. I agree.
Yep.
It will introduce more people to the game. It will be amazing. I am very excited about it. That is all. They hit Stingmon because it has an inherited effect, and we all know that makes green cards busted.
He gets it.
He does get it. Adaptive reasoning. People will still play Purple Hybrid, but it'll probably be Rihimon and his girlfriends, 2 Venus to Sol, 2 Syndril for game. That version was only running 2 Jack raids anyway, and no map because they were running the Lugamon AG engine, and they just got a new yellow tamer named AG to go with the newer Koichi, so they can run Shine Ace to full effect. So funny that First Effect doesn't care about the tamer colors.
Yep, I've already seen people saying that version of that list is already seeing some results, so...
It's still a really powerful engine. I honestly don't really care about the mat. Like, cool, whatever, hit that. But the deck was able to adjust very easily to the mat hit. I really liked the Jack Ray got hit to 1. Because it keeps them from gearing up for a play where they're like, all right, I'm just going to kill you this turn. I'm either going to deck you out, or I'm just going to have like so many swings that you can't possibly protect yourself.
All right.
I have access to 10 memory. Deal with this.
Another deck that Shoto mother was like, hey, at least I have a couple blockers so you can't get a million chips on me.
Unfortunately, Purple Hybrid just decks you out. Sadly.
I know. It was very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, cards left in deck 30? Oh, okay, I'm just going to Jack Raid 5 times and deck you out.
Have you considered, oops, you're already dead?
Yeah. Nice blocker, idiot.
Oh, man, it's a good thing I have this Paladin mode, right? Right?
Right?
I'm putting my cards back in my deck.
Yes.
How many cards in deck? Please don't ask me again.
Stop asking.
Proceeds to get decked out. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That is all. Did you all see One Piece announce block rotation? I heard about it from all the One Piece players crying in the Digimon community about it.
Oh, they're actually putting in the rotation?
Yeah, they officially announced the rotation for One Piece like a week ago or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know. I don't play that game, nor know anything about it besides what I randomly hear. So right now, I know that it's about to have rotation. That's all I know.
Sucks. Sucks to suck.
Sucks for them. Should have had a better IP. One Piece is boring and stupid. P2K, it feels fantastic to be playing Digimon right now. Bandai gave us a lot to look forward to, and the ban list in general was very good.
Yes.
For the most part.
Digi-con was actually very nice.
It was.
They announced the new game. They announced the new anime. They announced the new movie. Like, if you're a Digimon fan, you're eating right now.
Yeah, you'll be eating for the next year, for the foreseeable future.
Good stuff.
Ashes Fall 9530. Coming from someone who has been touched by Red, Purple, and Pure Digimon, the deck is tough to play against. I played Ben on Sunday in PPG, and he rolled me 2-0. He played the deck very well and definitely had to shout him out. He is a good player. It's a shame that he used to be cheating all the time.
When he drinks enough water.
Yeah, when he drinks enough water.
When he drinks enough water, and then he puts the hat on to keep all the brain juices
and he Ash Ketchums it. Yeah. So you played Ben after he found out that he was cheating, so I'm sure he didn't cheat you. Because the PPG tournament would have been after he found that out.
Yeah. He found out, at least over 2 weeks ago at this point?
It was about 2 weeks, I think. Something.
Yeah.
It was like 2 Sundays ago, I'm pretty sure.
Friday. Yeah.
Doru3428. Funny thing is, I don't think you run the yellow-green memory boost in Excel because the yellow-black one is much better. So, yellow-black one is better since you can search Darktro with it. Did they play Darktramon in that deck?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I've never seen any lists playing it.
Well, yeah, isn't it the Varu and the Bancho?
Yeah, I haven't been like looking at lists yet for that deck, but I haven't seen Darktramon in it before.
Maybe is he talking about the new one that hasn't come out yet?
Oh, the Ace.
Yeah, that's possible.
Maybe.
I guess that'd be the only one you could play.
Yeah.
It's an Ace, right? Isn't it?
I believe so. Either the Darktramon's an Ace, or no, the Darktramon's the Ace, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an Ace. Okay, that must be what he's talking about. Is the card we don't have yet?
I'll do my due diligence.
Like you wouldn't play either of the other Darktramons we already have because like they don't do anything in the deck. Hard play for 13 memory.
He do be an Ace. He's in the LM set.
Okay, the LM set we're not getting. All right.
Yeah.
I wonder how we're gonna get that card.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem to do anything.
What are its traits?
Yeah, what are its traits?
The deck, it does have the Excel trait.
Okay.
It does have the Excel trait.
Well, you wouldn't play that one with the Valder arm, right? You'd play that with the OG one, the other Chaos Mon.
You could play it with Valdarm.
You can play with.
You could, but like
you can play that guy for super cheap if you use the Singularity of Chaos option.
Yeah, Ben was very scared when Dante, because I was watching, Dante activated the Singularity, played the Bancho, and Ben was like, how much is that? He goes, well, and then he explained it, and Ben's like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah. Also, he will give your Valder arm collision.
That's pretty strong.
That's pretty good.
So he comes out, he de-evos, and then he deletes all of their Digimon with the lowest play cost.
That's so good. Yeah, you would play that. Absolutely.
That's pretty good.
He also has Scapegoat.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Also, he's black-purple?
Yeah.
Black-purple with Scapegoat, de-evo, delete all play costs, lowest.
That lets you go into Ultimate Chaosmon with him.
Yep.
Yeah, you absolutely would play that. That's so good. I wonder when we're going to get it. That would be nice. Amateurish author 20... Do what?
Something LM.
Well, we're not getting that LM set. They're going to have to give it to us in another way.
Box toppers. Guaranteed pulls.
Ideally, it would be guaranteed, but most likely it will be box toppers, yes. Amateurish author 2202. Something I've noticed recently, the reason why all these archetypes are multicolor is so that you can't use the monocolor memory boost with them. Atmon has 5-ish colors, I think. Adventure has every color. DS, NS, NP all have at least 4 colors.
Yeah, but the cool thing about being a Pro Tag deck is the Adventure has an archetype memory boost.
Yes, and also we're getting even more memory boost that will let you search even more and more colors. I think we'll eventually get every single dual color memory boost. Like,
how long do you think it takes before we get a generic mem boost that's like white and it just says like reveal top 4, add 1 Digimon card, and then delay +2 memory?
I don't think it'll be 4, it'll be 3. It'll be revealed
almost
3.
likely be 3. That's how they've
Especially if it's
tried to
colorless.
balance those cards.
You'd also have to have a white source on board.
That sounds
one of
like
the downfalls.
that sounds like it'd be bad.
No, it would just be a white memory boost where it says if you have a tamer in play, ignore this
the
colors.
color requirements. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise it just ends up being used in purple anyway because they have a analog U.
Yeah. JJR Beniz07. This is Ben, for those of you that don't know. I honestly think the Finraluga hit is worse than Balmon and kills the current interaction of the deck. No free Kazuchi play and you're forced to play on your turn. Plus Soluga is worse because you have a much harder time unsuspending. Yeah, dude. Screw you. That deck shouldn't have existed in the first place. That was really, really stupid. The fact that you could combo and then give your opponent 10 memory and then just be like, just kidding, it's still my turn.
Yeah. Nah, just have fun playing Perp Imperial.
Adaptive Reasoning said, yeah, they shot that deck in the face.
Yup.
It was deserved. Yeah. Doru3428, I hope it would end up like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in some way where you can craft the specific cards you want by scraping old cards or cards you don't want. Ideally, yeah, there's some way to like use all the bulk that you have to just make new cards or whatever.
Turn them into like extra packs or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. John Rose TCG, I seem to remember being clowned for mentioning Sakuyamon being OP. Well, I'm here to say I hope everyone is ready to get solitaired or OTK'd.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not concerned about it.
Japan is best of 1. Okay, that's the only thing and only reason why that happened.
I think
he was playing Ruin mode.
I think he's referencing the World Championship Sakuyamon deck.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, they're not. It's best of 3 in Worlds.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, stupid.
I'm not
Still just
concerned.
Ruin mode.
I'm not concerned about it because there's only one Sakuyamon player at our locals, and what's a nice
I
way
will
to say
say
this?
It was absolutely hilarious watching
He's not the
Tyler.
most skilled player, and he also doesn't come very often.
It was very hilarious watching Tyler play Beelzemon against it because all of the tokens that he spams out don't have levels.
Oh, and he can't out.
So, yeah, so he couldn't delete any of them with any of his effects, but still, he's playing Beelzemon. Should have just been able to kill him real quick.
Like I said, they made the deck worse by putting in a Beelzebub.
Yeah.
It doesn't just
He
kill.
was playing.
It says I have blocker now.
Playing the old cards.
Yeah,
or
he
the
made his
cards.
deck more defensive.
Yeah,
In a
Mistake.
deck that doesn't want to be defensive.
You never want to be defensive in a deck unless you're forced to. You don't want to. You'd rather be offensive.
Yeah, it's almost like printing a red hybrid card that says blocker. Why would you do it?
Yeah, it's like the Shine Greymon Tamer, the Marcus that has blocker. Like, why?
Yep.
We already have a
Why?
combo that just kills people. Why would I have this card in my deck?
I try kill, not defend.
Yeah, that's why black sucked for
My-
like ever and still kind of does.
My
So,
only
like,
strat is turn card sideways.
I have blocker. And
Have
they
you
had
considered-
Craniumon. They had Craniumon in 1.5 format that said can't be deleted by none of your blockers can be deleted by your opponent's card effects. Black still
good play.
sucked.
It's a good play.
Still sucked.
It's a good play.
Yeah.
It is a good play.
Green Hill Mario. The only reason I can fathom for Sting Kazuha and no Gallant card on the list is that it's to appease the Asian territories one last time before having to focus the ban list fully globally. No card from the Asian release of BT19 onwards got hit, and the only deck from that period onwards was Tao Loop's Old Problem Child, not a new card. As for Sting, Asian lists were on 4 of the draw one to account for the best of 1 format, and they only grabbed the data from there. Stupid hit, and I don't want to sound like I'm running defense for it, but it is a point I feel should be made. Honestly, this list feels like an anti-cheese list and a balanced list, if that makes sense. Get rid of cards that facilitate game plans that are too easy to achieve, like all of the hybrids hits in Fenry, but that design thesis not being spread out to other clearly performing decks in the data collection period, like Dog Purple, Slop Protoform, and Galaxy is bizarre. All the hits are good, we just need more lists per year. I just want Wargirl X gone sooner rather than later. Why does it genuinely make Gallon X a Magna X for the turn? It really matters. For the one turn, it really matters.
It really does. Especially when that's the turn they're killing you.
Yeah, I agree. It does seem to be like a cheese list, an anti-cheese list. Yeah, I think Wargrowl X probably will make its way on the ban list at some point. Ideally, when that happens, or before that happens, they'll give us another Wargrowl X that has a similar effect, because that's been Gallantmon's biggest issues, being bounced.
Right.
But yeah, Wargrowl.
But I mean, that's always been Red's problem, though. That's the whole point. You know, like they're susceptible to being bounced. Yeah.
Yeah. Amateurish Author 2202. I played Billsmon Hybrid Duskmon Loop with Billsmon pieces. Was it good? No. Was it fun? Yes. Technolic 667. Mother Shoto was a locals menace. With that in the game, every deck needs to be able to consistently climb over 15k DP or it's GG. If I'm trying to teach someone how to play the game, I don't want to spend time telling them how some decks are dead in the water and you shouldn't invest in them because of an unaffected egg and a little green boy. It may not have topped Worlds, but Mother Abuse topped many events and warped the meta in its own way. This pair ban was a good call. No? Dude,
Get good.
So, in the entire competitive season last year, I played against one Mother Shoto deck the entire time, and it was in a 3v3 at the National Championship on day 2.
Not even like the actual event.
No, not even the actual event. That deck lost to a lot of tier 1 decks real hard.
Yep.
Tier 3 decks.
And it was a going into time machine.
Yes, you were gonna draw guaranteed at least once or twice with that deck.
If you're using this as a casual player argument, that is also flawed. Because it shows the casual players there's checks and balances in this deck. Control decks exist. Aggro decks exist. Mid-range decks exist. That is just another form of that deck. Just because it was very good at its job doesn't make it any more broken than what the hell else is going on over there. Like, if I showed a new player, this is Gallant X. It kills you on turn 3. And that player goes, I don't want to play in this game. That's broken. All right, well, here's Mother Shoto control. This is a control deck that's going to try to stop that. Oh, that makes sense. Now, is it going to do it? Probably not. Gallon X is very good. But I'm just saying, like, there's checks and balances.
Yes.
Like, there's room for all of these. Just because you're locals, I'm playing bees, doesn't beat Mother Shoto. I mean, come on.
I think it's so silly that people complain the most about really hyper defensive control decks than they do about decks that are just like promote, okay, you're dead. What turn is it? Who cares? You're dead.
Who cares? You're dead.
Yeah.
Because those ones don't require any thought to actually do.
I legitimately think...
when you see a wall, you're like, but how do I get around that wall? With the
how do I beat this with my homebrew?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I legitimately think OTK, brain deck OTK decks are worse for the game than control decks.
100%.
100%.
I think it's ridiculous that the complaints are about the control decks.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So dumb.
Like, I don't like playing control decks. That's not my style. I'm the brain dead OTK deck, and I know I'm the problem.
I know I'm the problem when I build them.
Yeah. You're the problem when my rookie survives the security check, and I'm just like, oh, well, turn 3, I'm dead.
Yep, you're dead. Thank you for the extra memory. Your mistake for swinging my security. What a fool.
Checks training card. Oh my
Latitude 990. Another list where they hit my one meta deck, around 2 competitive decks, and like 11 fun road decks I would never play in a tournament. Still on the fence if it's better than nothing. LOL. Weird thought. It does feel like ban announcements are way less impactful in Digi since we have DCGO and Drazel. I don't know what he means by that.
I think it's just talking about how, like, with the simulators and stuff like that, you're just able to play more often. So
you can just play however you want, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You don't have to you don't have to buy the cards. You can just play it.
I guess that's true. You don't have to have the physical card, so like you're not like, oh man.
Oh man.
God dang it.
Yeah.
Looks scrolling through ban list. Oh dang it. Oh dang it. Oh dang it.
B Dunback. A brand new Black War Greymon is coming out after 3 years. It's wild to think about. The last version was BT8. I hope they keep the card color black. If I had to guess what color this Black War Greymon would be, I would say it's going to be purple black or pure purple because of the overall purple highlights. Bandai usually has their artists add an element of coherence to the art to keep it consistent with the card's typing. That is possible.
I mean, technically, we had Black War X and BT11.
Well, he means just Black War.
Yeah, I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
I really like the other guy's idea. I want it to be a medieval Gallantmon-like card, and I want it to be splashable in anything. I can't wait. Please give it to me, Bandai. I will be crushed if it's anything other than that.
Dawn is creaming.
I can play Black War in anything. It's
so good.
It's my dream.
My dream.
Yeah. It's like BT2 Black War, except for good. House Full of Frogs. Even as a known Galaxy enjoyer, I'm surprised they didn't hit BT16 Galgamon. That card is what really makes the Galaxy engine consistent. IMO. Agreed.
Correct.
Jim the Kid. This ban list was trash. It hit almost all the wrong things. I don't know what deck I'm going to play now. Ancient Omni was my best deck. Now it's Gallantmon? I don't know. It's so frustrating. If you could help me, I have Blue Hybrid, Hexa, Ravamon, Gallant. Not Gallant X yet. Garuru Everything, Altares, and Mastamon. Update the limited Lobo to force Magna Garurumon. That's dumb.
Yeah, I did reply letting him know that the Ancient Omni's not dead yet. There is hope.
You still unfortunately can play that deck.
Instead of a 1-card combo, it's a 2-card combo now.
But you get to draw so many more cards now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, now you have to have, unless you have the Tamer out already, now you're forced to have 3 memory. If you have the Tamer, it's 2. But, you know, the Tamer sets you to 3, so.
Or Scramble.
Because you have to, or Scramble. Yeah. I will say this. I think the ban list made the deck more fair.
Yes.
It's no longer, I opened Lobo Ancient, you're dead.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I actually have to play the game.
Yeah. I liked the hit.
You would. Despite
it nerfing my Warp Toolbox.
Your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
your homebrew.
Necessary. Yeah. Grim the Nightmare 6536. Thank you for being a channel member. I like this list. It's reasonable hits to try and move decks out of the meta and make room for future card design. And then there's Stingmon.
And there's Stingmon.
Agreed.
Yeah. It definitely feels like they were hitting all old stuff. Like, I don't think anything... Like, I think we had a comment earlier. Nothing past BT19 was hit. Like, period. No decks.
That's fine. Those cards are still too new to, like, warrant hits. Like, at least give these some breathing time.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, we had Imperial, the card game. We had Wargrave, the card game. Sure, just let the Tamer season have their time. Just let them have it, I guess.
Yeah. How to Top Lane. Thank you for being a channel member. Dr. Pepper is elite.
You're wrong.
I would like to add an addendum to that. I guess that's kind of redundant, but Diet Dr. Pepper is elite. Regular Dr. Pepper, I actually don't like. I just like Diet Dr. Pepper. I
don't like Dr. Pepper.
They're like completely unique from each other. I think it's the weirdest thing because I do not like Dr. Pepper. I never have, but I love Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, they are very distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's orange soda, root beer, and cherry Pepsi.
For me, it's white Monster, water, and then if I'm in the mood for a diet soda, it's it's whatever. But
I like water, root beer, and dew. But the flavored dews, I don't like. I don't like regular dew. I like the flavored dews.
Yeah, like your Code Reds, your Voltages.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were about to say dudes.
And dudes, I love dudes.
And dudes.
No, I mean, if we're talking all liquids as a drink, I get so much flack for this, but I will chug a whole gallon of whole milk. I don't know why, but everybody thinks that's insane.
I used to drink milk all the time, and it was usually whole milk. And then I found out that there's like blood and pus in it, and that just like grosses me out. So that's no longer a thing for me. But I would drink it.
You don't like
meal.
You don't like a little blood and pus in your cereal?
I'm not a huge fan. So now I'm strictly an oat milk person. If I do have cereal or whatever, or like get it in my coffee or whatever, but I used to love cow's milk.
Have you considered like just adding your own? Just a little prick.
Oh, my own blood and pus?
Infected.
I don't think that cancels out the cow's blood and pus, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
I don't think that's how it works.
Whatever.
You must have weak blood.
Yeah, it makes you stronger.
I mean, all the stuff they pump in those cows, I'm sure affects you. I'm sure all the steroids, make their way into your bloodstream somehow.
Yeah, that's how I'm stronger, yeah.
That was the last one, by the way.
It was.
All right.
I was going to let us ruminate in that awkward silence for a little longer.
By the way...
Perfect, because I have to pee so bad.
By the way, I just want to say one thing. Apparently, like, I have not been able to find Diet Grapico or Diet Code Red, like, anywhere. It's like they don't exist anymore. And Diet Sunkist, I'm pretty sure, too.
Yeah, it's like they're only in certain regions now. It's weird.
Yeah, there's like a shortage or
I
something.
heard Diet Code Red is like region specific.
Is it? Well, they need to bring it to our region because that sucks.
So stupid.
Yeah. Those are like some of the best diet sodies, and they just don't exist where we live. It's stupid.
I don't really care for diet sodies. If I'm getting a sodie, it's like once a week. I'm just gonna go in.
It has nothing to do. I mean, I don't want to drink my calories if I have the option, but it's because I don't like full sugar sodas. Like, I don't like how I just don't like the stickiness, and I just don't like the way they taste. I feel gross when I drink them.
Is it the sugar or is it the fructose corn syrup?
It's either.
Probably both.
Yeah, I've had both. I've had like cane sugar sodas and high fructose. Yeah. I just don't like it.
I really loved the Pepsi, I think it's called the Soda Shop or something like that, where it's a sugar Pepsi instead of a fructose.
Yeah, they taste different, and they don't taste like they probably taste better than regular like high fructose ones, but I still prefer diet versions of anything.
Makes sense. All right, I'll wrap it up for us.
Nice.
Excellent.
It's going to be so funny. People are going to see that super early with no context.
Like, what the hell is happening?
Perfect. All right. You guys have a good day.
You as well.